Hello, everybody, and we are back into business. Two squats until the qualifying round is over in Olympia Bowling Alley in Helsingborg, Sweden. PBA stop. PBA International, and the only PBA event out of the United States. Now, the Dream Tip is back. I have Victor Baque here with me. Victor, nice to see you again, buddy.
Hello, hello, nice to be back.
Actually, it's good that you're here because you were lucky enough to attend to Christian Jonas' seminar about lane profiles and some other stuff. I believe it was quite interesting. I've heard only good news about it and good things about it. Care to explain a little bit what went on over there? I think you learned a couple of things, also maybe some different approaches into the pattern we are bowling at the moment.
Yeah, this was, to me, this was maybe one of the more nerdy seminars I've been to, which, like, as someone who is interested in this, I really enjoyed it. But what went on was mostly to do with the design of oil patterns and how they are affected by lane conditions and the different oil conditioners that KO has to offer, and all of those small details that maybe we don't think of that often. So I think,
But we usually say that small details make a big
yeah,
difference, right?
yeah.
So you
But
wish that seminar would have been happening at the beginning of the week, so you could have grabbed a little bit of a better information and use
yes,
it yourself when you hit the lanes.
there was a couple of times where I thought, well, why did I not think of that when I was playing? Because that would have helped me out greatly.
So now that you've been on that seminar and you have a better understanding on pretty much everything on oil profiles and stuff like that, it makes even less sense when people blame the lane guy, right?
Yes, I think so.
It's all about understanding, it's all about knowledge. It's a little bit what we have been talking during the whole week. The sport is more and more complex year after year. The equipment is getting stronger. The variables and the big amount of different factors involved on what goes on lane after lane and game after game. Unless you really understand all those concepts, it becomes very difficult to overcome. Then, otherwise, unless you are capable to really understand that and get the proper approach, it's just a lottery. You have to pick the right number. You have to hope that the next pair is going to be good for you. Otherwise, if the next pair it's not good for you, in a way of, in a manner of speaking, if you don't have the tools and you don't have the knowledge, how are you supposed to overcome those difficulties? How are you supposed to get any better on that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think Christiana said it very well during the seminar. One problem, especially this week,
Hmm.
has been people seeing that it's not a long pattern, but it's on the longer side, and
Hmm.
it's on the higher side of oil volume. So people like to bring balls with a lot of surface, stronger balls.
Absolutely, I agree.
But when he really walked through how the patterns uh,
Build
are, yeah,
or design.
how they're designed, that's pretty much the worst thing you could bring this week, because it's the only players that have done it well have been playing with shinier balls, essentially
Shiny balls and
higher
different
RGs.
different approach than we have been getting the costume lately. It's one of those patterns that since the middle lane is burning up quite quickly, it doesn't really work to try to grip the ball so much. You, on the contrary, just want to be letting the ball slide as far down as possible.
And lofting doesn't really work, because since all of the, or well, most of the oil is in the first 10 to 20 feet of the lane, if you loft through that, you're getting less oil than you would
Exactly.
get.
And another thing that happens when you loft the ball sometimes is that you end up gripping it more, even if you don't want to. So the ball's going to be even more sensitive when it bounces down on the lane.
I've seen the balls burn up more when people have lofted them than when they've just let the ball glide through smoothly. So,
And in terms of technique, for me, it's a lot easier to just let the ball go off the hand and be consistent on doing that than trying to drop the ball on the same spot 30 feet down the lane.
exactly.
You're going to waste a lot more energy. It's not going to be easy to repeat. The ball's going to be super sensitive. As soon as you grip it a little bit too much or a little bit less, you're going to have a quite a different reaction. And then you're just putting yourself into even more troubles and more difficulties than the parent was already bringing you from start or on fresh.
Exactly. And surprisingly enough, well, we tend to see the longer the week goes on, we tend to see the scoring pace go up pretty drastically in these events. But this week, it's actually, well, obviously it's gone up, but not as much as we maybe expected it to.
Definitely not as much as I was expecting at the beginning of the week. I was kind of hoping that a lot of bowlers would understand a little bit more how to play it, how to stay away from issues, which kind of balls you don't want to use anymore. So, especially you don't want to get any surface to the ball. I know it's nowadays it's very common. Oh, I need control. The parent is difficult, so I don't want anything that is hard to throw on the ball on the lane. So I'm gonna give some surface to the ball, so I make sure it's very easy to control. But actually, if you give a lot of surface, the ball's gonna read too early. It's not gonna be what you need on the lane. And on the top of that, you usually give the surface on the warm up and the first, I would say, the first game for sure. What happens here, because of the format of the event, the pairs you start on doing the warm up is the pair you're going to end up bowling on your sixth game. So if you burn yourself the lines and the lanes on the warm up, by the time you go back there 5 games later, you're going to be out of room and there's going to be no oil left anywhere on that pair of lanes.
Yeah. And one thing as well was that Christianos was mentioning in the seminar that you can maybe explain that a bit is that this is a pattern that favors a lower rev rate over a higher. So, and we tend to see later in the week that there are more higher rev players coming, but that doesn't really work here because it's a 43-foot pattern, sorry, 44, but it's only oiled to like 23 feet, and then
Hmm.
it's just the brush carrying the oil
Just
down
the
the last bit.
just the oil left on the brush. It's going
Yeah,
to be dropped down. There's no more loads. There's no more dropping of oil, so it's kind of just pushing the humidity left on the brush all the way down to 44 feet. But if you want to get a better idea on that, how would it work? Let's imagine we drop a glass of water in the table, and when we grab a napkin and we try to make it dry, actually, when we carry on a little bit further out, or a little further away, there where the water was really dropped, you can see the table is getting a little bit of humidity, but it's definitely not the same amount of water. It's just a tiny a tiny layer of humidity over there. That's a little bit what's going on in here. It's not that there is really oil going all the way down to 44. Actually, every single feet or every single foot that you go further on the lane is going to have a little bit less amount of oil because the brush is already not dropping anything.
exactly. And that's one thing. This pattern, when you look at it, it almost tricks you a bit. It if you don't look at, or if you only look at surface, you might think, well, it's simple enough. It looks very simple when you look at the overhead graph, but when you look into the details, it's
It's a lot more complex than
yeah,
it looks.
and it's a lot more difficult than it looks.
And we can definitely see that on the lanes because we see how many super talented bowlers we have here. We have a lot of people from the PBA, we have a lot of people from the United States, every single bowler from Team Sweden, the best bowlers in Scandinavia, best bowlers in Europe. Um, it's not easy. Everybody's struggling a lot. We had this is the squad number 27, I believe, unless I'm wrong. 26,
26.
20, 26.
Yeah,
So there's been a million games on the lanes and a million squads, and we only have two bowlers shooting above 1400.
yeah, and that's just been in the past 2 days or
Yes,
so.
that
Yeah,
that was it. It was Trevor Roberts with 1444 and Nico Oksanen from Finland with 1404. When I made the interview to Trevor after he shot 1444, he explained the previous squads he had bowled, he was somewhere around 1050, 1050. So he found a way to do. Actually, what he explained, he was using the wrist a lot less, dropping down a lot of rev rate, just letting the ball slide as long as possible. And we don't see that many that many high scores. The only one that I have seen pretty much being able to succeed on this pattern in a couple or even three different ways, it was Ethan Fury.
Yeah.
We saw Ethan bowling pretty deep inside on the first two squats that he bowled quite high. And then he was 150 over after five when he was taking a complete different approach. He was using a urethane ball straight on the second arrow. But I haven't seen anyone else being able to bolt that area quite okay. It's very close to the penalty zone. As soon as you miss a little bit out, it's not going to work. The ball's not going to make it back. And you run the risk when you miss in that you hit all the traffic from everyone else who's bowling deeper.
Yeah. There is, as you say, the penalty area. It's essentially a cliff on the outside of this pattern and in this center. That if you get too far out, the ball is not gonna. If in some centers, the ball's gonna hook back and give you a Brooklyn almost. But here it feels like you're happy if you hit the head pin.
If you hit the head pin or if you just leave the 1-2,
Yeah,
you would take it right
you're
away.
happy if you don't wash out to leave a 210.
We have seen an amazing amount of frames that ended up on the right corner. We have
Yes.
seen quite a few bowlers taking just the 2 and the 9. We have seen many frames of a spare and 2, strike double and 2, because the ball just when you miss to the right, it's just completely gone.
I might have had one of those myself.
Oh, you had
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
by yourself. Okay, so then you know what we're talking about.
Yeah. And it's like it's a shot that doesn't feel that bad when you let go of it, but you might have a bit too much speed on it, and you miss a bit outside, and the ball just it's gonna skid all the way down.
She's just gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna take my little vacation
And
out in the corner. I'll be back later on.
on my occasion, I only picked up the 6-9.
6-9.
Yeah, went straight through, and that's just because the ball skids all the way, so it retains all its energy. Just goes straight through.
That's true. So we have only this squad and the next one until the qualifying round is over. There's quite a bunch of good bowlers again on the lanes. We have Dominic Barrett, we have Carl Eklund, we have Arnar Johnson, we have Chase Nadeau, we have, let me see, Thomas McNeil, Ben Robinson was doing good, Tim Stampe, Paris Benson, former Team Sweden. We have Ethan Fury bowling again. If you guys are curious to see what Ethan is doing, he's now bowling on lanes 3 and 4. We have quite a few strikes also happening on lane 5 and 6 by Niklas Horensen, front 6. We have Kevin Melin, who has been doing pretty good over the week. We have Marcus Johnson from Team Pergamon, son of Raymond Johnson. Several world titles and golden medals in world championships and European championships. He was the partner of crimes with Thomas Leandersson. Let's see who else we have over there. We have San Tu giving one more try. Robin Norberg, one of the young talented bowlers. The Finnish girl, she's going for another go. Elisa Hiltunen. Albin, a nice lefty bowler from Sweden as well. We have Don Harding from England. He's giving another try. And then we see we see quite a few games that are looking good with a big streaks of strikes. For example, on lane 11 and 12, we find a 5-bagger and a 4-bagger. If we go to 9, we have a 4-bagger. If we go to 6, we have a front 6 and a triple. If we go to 3 and 4, we have a 4-bagger and a 5-bagger. On 19 and 20, we had Carl Eklund with a 4-bagger. He just had the split on the 10th. So it looks like they start to know more or less what they want to do on fresh. The scores is a little bit higher, but we have been watching this kind of evolution during the week. First couple of games, you see maybe 5-6 bowlers above 450, even some of them getting close to 100 over after 2. But then the big wall, it's hitting everyone on game 3. Especially game 3 and 4, everybody drops down a lot. It's when you really hit the traffic. It's when the lanes become a lot more messier and the middle lane becomes a lot more drier. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen on this squad.
Yeah, as you say, it's almost like you get the score, the big numbers created in the first 3 or 4 games, and then it's like just par is a good score at the end, and try to keep the
A lo-
point
Last couple
pins
of
you've
squads,
collected.
we've seen some people that they found their way to come back on the last couple of
Yeah,
games.
for sure.
It looks like games 3 and 4 to me has been the most complex for them to succeed on. I can remember a few big names like AJ Johnson starting very well and then dropping down on games 3 and 4. At the beginning of the week, we could see Ernesto Reynoso, the young one from the United States, starting. He had at some point after 4 squads, he had 200 over on the first game, so he was bowling 250 average on game 1, but then he was unable to carry on with his score and with his striking abilities. Um, I think you can keep an eye on what goes on the next pair you're gonna go when you're bowling game 1, but you have quite a difficult period to try to find out what's happening 8 lanes away from where you are, which is where you're gonna be bowling game 3. And then everything relies on what did they do to that pair. Did they burn it? Did they push a little bit of oil down? Um, whatever whatever they have done, you need to feel as fast as possible so you can do your changes the sooner the better. And another thing that we have been told by the PBA bowlers mostly that have been during the week passing by and doing some streaming with us, um, pretty much everyone said the same thing. You don't want to do small moves in here. When you find something it's not working, moving 2 boards or moving 2 on 1, that's not the kind of a move that's working on this event. You need to be a lot more aggressive. You need to be drastic. You cannot be afraid to jump 5, 6 boards deeper all of a sudden.
Yeah, I made the mistake myself during one of the squads, or a few of the squads, where I was like, where I changed the pair, and I think I shoot 2 shots that that didn't deliver, and then you start to think, all right, I'll give it one or two more frames, but it's not gonna work. Just start moving
No,
instead.
and I guess it's also there is a little bit of a mental part on it
Yes.
because as I said before, let's say you start with 480, so you are 80 over after a couple of games, especially these last few days. You start thinking, yeah, I just saw again the 6-9 taken
Yeah.
on lane 14 on the first shot. But as I was saying, you find yourself with a 80 plus after 2 games, and then you move to the next pair, game number 3. You see it's not really working, and the first thing that comes to your mind is like, ooh, I don't want to get myself into trouble, so I'm going to make small adjustments to try to prevent, to make a big mistake. But actually, it's the contrary. On this pattern, when you see the ball starting to move, you don't want to move 2 or 3 boards. You want to move 5 and get yourself into wherever may be any oil left. So
Yeah.
it's becoming quite tricky. It's not an easy pattern to succeed on, but let's see what goes on this squad, right? We have a lot of good bowlers in the lanes at the moment. We see quite a few strikes. Uh, the last 2 squads, I believe, after 1 or 2 games, it was up to 16 to 20 bowlers over par. And on each one of them, on game 3, those numbers dropped down to 8, 9 bowlers. So half of the field stopped being over par in game 3.
Yeah, I haven't actually followed the last squads that thoroughly, but I believe what you say. But coming back to what you said about the, for example, starting with 480, I think one mistake that a lot of us have done, not here and in the past as well, is if you get a couple of good games, you sort of fall in love with the line you're having, and you don't want to move away because it's been giving you results. But as soon as it stops giving results, you can't be afraid to move because you're gonna end up punishing yourself in the end.
Exactly. So you just need to be brave, and you just have to do bigger changes and bigger line movements. Probably go to a weaker ball. Start thinking on going a little bit more sideways with the ball rotation, so you make sure the ball goes long enough. So let's see. Ethan Fury is on lane 3 today. He's bowling deep again. bowling reactive, is throwing somewhere around 18 in the arrows. Breakpoint should be around 12, more or less. For those who are watching, if you want to have a little bit of extra information on what's going on, we managed to put Spectre Live on lanes, I believe it's 15 and 16 and 19 and 20. So if you are watching on the broadcast of lanes 13 to 16, you will see on the right side of your screen the Spectre Live on 15 and 16, and the same thing goes for the broadcasting on lanes 17 to 20. You can see the Spectre Live on the right side for lanes 19 and 20. Okay, game one is almost done. I'm gonna start looking around, see who's doing quite high games and who's not doing so high. Tobias Bording from Germany, if he strikes out, is gonna go all the way up to 230. Ethan Fury, who's gonna make his 10th frame on lane 4. If he strikes out, it's gonna be a 245.
Yeah.
Philip over there on lane 12. Philip Strandgren, I believe it says it's a little bit
Yeah.
funny to be Strandgren. If he strikes out, it's gonna be on a 269 pace. Cecily Dam on lane 20, 235. That's pretty good. Carl Eklund also on that 19 and 20 made a strike on the 10. He needs a double for a 220 game. Lane 20 now is Dominic Barrett. He needs to strike out for a 218 game. I see a lot more speed on the ball for Dominic than he has been doing in some of the previous squats. Then on lane 17 we have Timu Putkisto from Finland, 224. And yeah, there was some striking, but some splits started to show up. Also on lane 5 and 6 we have Kyle Trupp, light strike in the pocket. He has already a triple, and this one was a double. Bowling with Kyle, we have Niklas Sorensen on a scoring pace of a 279. If he strikes out, that looks pretty good as well. So there is quite a few games above 200 at the moment. Looking good. The scoring pace is nice. It's a lot of talent. It's a lot of good bowlers. Many of them probably have a better idea on what they want to do. They have been bowling quite a few amount of games and squats, so they have a better understanding on what goes on the lanes. And it's going to be very fun to see how far can they take it, how high can they go, and how high does the actual cut it's going to end up being. At the moment it looks it's 92 over, and as I said, this is the second last squat, only one more later on, and tomorrow we're going to have start in the finals, Sunday 8 o'clock in the morning. 6 hours less in the East Coast, so it's going to be 2 a.m. if you're watching from United States on the East Coast, 11 p.m. if you're on the West Coast.
Yeah, and that is only step one, of course.
Yeah, the final is going to go on forever.
You have
I
the
gave the timings
sheets
a
there.
little bit sooner, so I'm going to tell you again. That's the schedule that we have for tomorrow on the finals. Step 1, 8 o'clock in the morning. Step 2, 10:50. Then there's going to be lane maintenance. So step 3 is going to be, or supposed to be, 20 to 3. Then there will be lane maintenance again. Step 4 will begin at 4:30. Then we have lane maintenance, and the semifinals will start at 7:30 p.m. And the finals for the match of the title is going to be 8:30. So we're going to be in the bowling alley for another 14 hours tomorrow. A lot of bowling, a lot of striking, and a lot to witness.
Yeah, and the semifinals and finals, that's gonna obviously be the main event of the night, you could say, because that's gonna be where we have the big uh, the big show, I should say, on the stream, not just us sitting here and chatting in the room.
No, exactly. were asked a little bit sooner. I think it was on the previous squad. Maybe you know it. I couldn't answer because I honestly had no idea. Is it going to be shown live anywhere else than YouTube?
I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on YouTube. The whole thing.
Yeah, there's so on this YouTube channel we are talking now, the Storms Lucky Larsen's YouTube channel, the one we are telling you all to subscribe, and the one you are listening to us at the moment. This one's going to show absolutely everything until the very end of the event. If you have not subscribed yet, just do so. We're going to have a lot of more bowling coming during the season. It's 100% free, and the more you sign up and the more you subscribe, the easier it's going to be for YouTube algorithm to help us remain free.
Yeah,
Okay, we shot Ethan Fury. We saw he shot 230 something. Kyle Trop, he
he's gonna
managed to
have.
strike on the 10th, but split on the 11th. But that's already okay. Another game of 230 something.
It's gonna be in the high 230s. That's a 237, and he needs a big block now because he's currently right on the cut.
Yeah, yeah. Kyle was doing quite a surviving mode early this morning. He wasn't so lucky at the very end of the last game. He could have gone all the way up to 1300, but he did not strike out, so he dropped down to 91 over, I believe it was.
And
Game one is almost done, so Victor's gonna let us know what Kyle has at the moment.
yeah,
I think it's 1291.
yes. But speaking of the cut right now, it's all we can say really is it's gonna be around or just under 1300 because uh, since the top 30, sorry, top 40 make the main cut, it's currently from 30th to 41st where Cal Troop is.
It's
It's
nine pins over there, yeah.
10 including Cal Troop, so it's 1301, which is Marcus Jansson who's in 30th, and then Cal Troop is in 41st at 1291.
91. So those 10 pins are actually 11 spots.
Yes. And well, the standings doesn't show it, but it's actually top 41 that make the cut at the moment because Arna Jonsson is already qualified for the top for the finals.
That's true. Arnar
Yeah.
is already in the final because he was a winner of one of the PBA regionals.
Yes.
There's another two bowlers who are going to bowl the final from the PBA regionals. It's Carl Borgren from Helsingborg and Jota Team,
Yeah.
and Pontus Andersson,
Yes.
who was sitting with us a few days ago from Team Clan and working on the Swedish bowling school in Nässjö. For the fans of Ethan Fury, he's now bowling in lane 20. He shot 234 on game 1. I'm gonna start writing down pretty soon which lane is everyone going, because otherwise when we have so many people with a high score, it's very hard to find them on the screen. It's only one pair of lanes who are not yet done with game 1, which is lanes 13 and 14. We can find Thomas McNeil there with chances of a game of 259. And as soon as they are done, we will refresh the scoring so we can give you a better update on how the squad is looking and what's the scoring for everybody.
Yeah. I think they might have had some mechanical issues on that pair, considering they are quite far behind. So, but we'll
Yeah, it
probably
sounds
catch
like
up
that
there.
because there is a lot of striking, so it's not that they took a lot more many shots than any other pair. So probably there was some mechanical issue.
One thing I don't think we've talked about that much is how great the mechanics and the staff here at the center have been this week because they
They
are
are
fixing those
unbelievable.
issues
I
incredibly quick.
said yesterday we had quite an issue. Actually, there was one of the engines, the sweeper engine, it burned out, and usually that kind of repairing it takes at least half an hour. You have to replace the whole engine, and you have to take care of quite a few things to do that. And they managed to fix everything under 10 minutes.
Yeah, and
So
was that the squad that was completely suspended for?
yes,
Oh,
and the
yeah,
main reason to stop everything is it's because, as I said, one of these mechanical failures like this one in particular, it should take about half an hour to get fixed. But the amazing job by the staff, both Jesper and Sebastian,
yeah,
they managed to fix that so quickly, and so heads off to them, right?
yeah. And the squad was suspended because of any delay, so people don't have to wait around for the pair to finish, and the players in that pair don't have to get stressed because
Yes.
everybody's pulling around them.
So it was the idea was that everybody could keep on the same pace over
Yeah.
and over again.
We also had an issue earlier in the week, which they said normally would take almost half a day to fix, but they fixed it in under 10 minutes as well. With I think it was the belt at the back of the machine
Hmm.
somehow came loose. But yeah, they are sensational, the two of them.
No, they have an amazing staff all over the bowling alley. People in the kitchen also does an amazing job. It's I'm getting fat this week over here. I'm a very skinny person, so maybe I should move myself up here for a couple of months, get a better, better looking, a better weight, better condition. Um, but I have to say, it's the same thing. If we talk about the technicians we have over here, Jonathan, Jonte, you do an amazing job as well. You run up and down. I see you doing many different amount of things. And the truth is that the stuff that your father has in the bowling alley, it's unbelievable. It works super good. They are super efficient, but also they are super humble and kind. So it's like a perfect combo. That's why every single bowler that comes here, it's going back home happy. They have a great experience, and if you come once, it's not gonna be once. You're gonna keep repeating year after year after year after year. I feel home when I'm here. I feel home. So now let's see if we can get a bit of an update on the
I
scorings. I'm
think
gonna
Jonathan is
look.
working on that right now.
Yes, I know, I know. I'm just looking around to see where is everybody. I'm gonna tell you some of the names so you can guys choose into which broadcast camera you want to go on. Ethan Fury, bowling and lanes 19 and 20. Dominic Barrett, bowling on lanes 15 and 16. Arnar Jonsson, bowling on 1 and 2. Carl Eklund and Santu, they are bowling on 3 and 4. Let's see. Kyle Trapp is on 9 and 10. And yeah, we could mention quite a few more strong bowlers like Tobias Bering from Germany, Marcus Johnson. Uh, I don't know, whatever I look, I see a big name. But just try to see more, trying to let you know more or less the big names out there in the bowling world, so you can the fans can connect into that broadcast, that specific camera, and have some fun. So, people is watching online, we're gonna ask you, what do you guys think the cut is gonna be? Now it's a little bit easier to predict. It's only this squad and the next one to go. Currently 92 over. Victor, what's your number? 96, 97, 95?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be split between the two players that currently have 97. So I
Hmm.
think
Between Dan
Anders.
Harding and Anders
Yes,
Johansson.
so I'm gonna say 1297 is the score, but I could also see it go one or two pins lower than that. So it'll actually all depend on how many people make 1300.
The only thing I'm happy about is I was wrong, but Robert Anderson was also wrong, so I'm not gonna have to buy him any beer.
And we have the scores from game one in, and it is Niklas Sørensen who has the highest score of 255.
255 from Denmark, Niklas. Yes. Then we find Philip. How you say that in Swedish? Strandgren.
Strandgren, yes.
Strandgren. 244. Thomas McNeil, United States, 238. Cecile Dam, Denmark, female, 235. That's so far probably the best start I've seen on the girls, except perhaps Emma Hultonen. She's shot 480 on one of her squats on the first two.
Yeah, and currently leading the female standing is Nora Johansson at 12:34.
And number two is Peppi Konsteri from Finland, 1228. If no women does any higher than that, those two would have a gateway into the final. They would bowl on the final step one.
Yeah, yeah.
So
If nobody,
we're gonna have to follow the action on the Danish girl.
yeah,
She may be able to do it.
or you could say if nobody beats them, or a female bowler makes the main cut, they're gonna be through.
Yeah, exactly. If the Danish girl now shots 1300, she's gonna make it directly. So they will keep those gateways for Nora and Peppi.
And then everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy, yes. Dominic Barrett, 9-0 on the fourth frame. Not good, not good, not good. So I'm not going to be able to complain on the young ones anymore because the guys on my era are missing single pins as well now.
Yeah, if there's one thing about this pattern, I'm not complaining about the pattern now because Christianas is in the room. I just want to make that clear. But it humbles you. It really humbles you. It's very difficult, but it really does humble you sometimes when you feel like when you're in the right place, you're really good, and then you make the wrong decision and you're all of a sudden nowhere.
It's very easy to go from a 250 to a 150.
Yes. Or the other way around, from 150 to 250, and you feel like the best player ever.
Somehow I feel this week it has been easier to go from the 250
Yes.
to the 150 than all the way around,
Yes.
right? Except for some of them who are really, really, really good and strong in their mindset. But jokes apart, game two, we see a little bit less of striking that we saw in game one. I see quite a few more open frames already, and that is making me fear that game three and four are going to be devastating. Maybe the cut is going to be even lower. Maybe the cut's going to remain below those 97. Maybe we go down to 95. And I'm crossing my fingers it's not 95 because that's the number that Ryan said yesterday over here. And I don't want to admit that he was right, especially when I cross him later on through the bowling alley. He's going to tell me, you see, I knew it was going to be 95.
Yeah.
And if he does that on our basketball game, I'm going to have to be even more aggressive than I was.
Yeah. One thing that we haven't talked that much about, or I think we mentioned it earlier in the week, but that's actually the PBA Sweden standing and how that is affected by this week's results. That is the tour that has been going on in Sweden this year. We've had 3 stops.
3 stops, PBA Regional Sweden, and at the moment the leader is Ian Robinson.
That is in the 50 plus category.
Oh, that's the 50 plus. Well, we can talk about them as well because they are bowling. We have Ian Robinson with 120 points, Oscar Brostrom 116. Oscar is in the final at the moment. He's got the second highest score for plus 50. Per Benson is third with 112 points. Per is not in the final, but Per is bowling this squad at the moment, so he wants to try to gain that spot into the final.
And those are really the 3 that are in contention.
Yes, because then number 4 is Stefan Ingstrom, but Stefan has not showed up for this event, so everything is going to be between Ian, Oscar, and Per if he manages to do quite enough. We could have a look at. I believe Oscar is below par on that senior
I'll check that out.
gateway.
But with the way that the points work in this event, since it's 1.5 times the regular tour points, it's essentially just whoever out of those 3 finishes on top is going to win the tour and get that trip to Reno.
So at the moment we have Martin Paulson with 1229.
Well, it's actually Peter Hellström who's the highest 50 plus player, but he's already in the final on an early bird, I believe.
I believe so too, because we said the cut was 92 over, so Peter Hellström is going to be from the early birds. So taking away Petter, it's between Martin, Oscar, and Per Svensson, who's now on the lanes. And I'm not sure Ian Robinson is also on the lanes,
Yes.
but he's bowling on lane 7. He has a total score of 275, including the pins on this game, which is 68. So that
Check what
means
they have in the previous.
he shot 207 on game 1, right?
Yes. And I
But
think
now is 7 frames on this game, no strikes, and a couple of open frames. So we will have to see how it goes for him later on. And now we should look at the PBA Regional Sweden, the regular standing for non-seniors. We find Joachim Karlsson, 92 points. Joachim is already in the final with the score.
fourth, I believe, or fifth.
I think he shot. I don't remember, but he was. I think he was gonna make it directly to.
He's in fourth, so
Yeah,
yes, he will
fourth
definitely.
position, 1380. So he's gonna make it directly to step 2. That's very good news for him. Then we find Anton Andersson, Don Harding, who is now with 97 over, so he's on the edge, making it, not making it.
But he is bowling now as well.
Yeah, he's bowling now as well. Then we find Arnar Jonsson
Who's
bowling
already
now as
through,
well.
because since Arnold has won a stop, he's already guaranteed a final spot.
A spot on the final. Then we find Robin Persson.
Who is not gonna make the cut, I don't think, unless
Now
he's bowling
Robin
again.
started this morning. He started very well, but then on the, I think it was on game 3, he shot 120.
Oh,
With like six or seven splits on that particular game. Sixth position is Carl Lakeland. Carl is becoming one of the sponsors of the event because he has bowled like 20 squads already. And he started okay, but now he's got the 4-9. He's bowling on lane 3 and 4. If he doesn't go on, maybe he's going to bowl the last squad as well. But following on, Carl Walgreen also with is also gonna bowl the final.
which is gonna be a relief because currently he's sitting in over 100th place.
But Carl won the last one, right? The
Yes.
last regional stop in Stockholm.
Yes, so he's gonna be happy that he's already through because judging off his current score, he's not gonna make it on that.
Mm.
And I think those are, I'd say, out of the ones we've talked about, I think the top 5 are the ones that have a realistic chance of winning the tour, because it's not only the PBA Sweden players that score points, it's everybody who has a PBA membership scores points for that tour.
So probably it's going to be between the top 3, Joachim, Anton, and Don Harding.
Yes, and
Arner perhaps, because he's also in the final and he's got a very similar amount of points. But actually Joachim is 22 points ahead. Joachim has 92 points, and then Anton and Dan are with 70, and Arner with 68.
Yeah, but I think Robert Anderson said it very well last weekend. He said, so the simplest way to explain it is that if enough international players bowl very well, then Joachim will win, because they're going to take the points away from the others.
Yep. Okay, let's see what goes on. Actually, Robin Norberg with 54 points is now doing quite good on lane 6. He's got the spare and 6 in a row. And I think he shot 191 on game 1, so he needs to pick up the pace a little bit. Arnar Jonsson on lane 1 with 4 bagger. If he strikes out, he's going to shoot 245. Sun 2 on 3 and 4. He needs a double for a 235 on the 10th frame. Actually, Cecilia Dam, she shot quite a good first game. She's bowling with Carl Eklund on 3 and 4. She's on a 170 pace. If she doubles on the 10th, it's going to be 180.
Yeah. I'm looking to see if I can find any others that have a lot of strikes to go on. We have Thomas McNeil started with a split in the first, but he spared that one up. Then he's got 9 spare and then a 3 bagger. So he can shoot 279.
269, no, 279, you're
Yeah.
right, on lane 17. And I believe something may have happened to lane 9 and 10 because they are,
No, that was the pair that was delayed last game, wasn't it? Or was it?
uh, but was it that delayed?
They were a few minutes behind, I think.
I mean, they are quite delayed at the moment. They are on frame number 4.
Yeah.
One,
Oh, no, I think I know why, because I think it was 13-14 that was delayed last game, and two of the players from that pair are now playing on 9 and 10.
yeah.
You can see that 17-18 are also a bit behind the rest. But give it a game or two and they'll probably have caught up again.
Well, if Daniel is out there, it's gonna sure make speed them up a little bit.
Yeah.
So 9 and 10 is Niklas Sorensen, who shot quite a high score in game 1. We have Kyle Trupp. We have Svavar Gudjonsson and Ben Robinson. Ben Robinson was doing quite good in some of the squads as well, so it's quite a nice pair to watch.
Yeah.
A lot of striking happening on lane 6 for Robin Norberg,
He's now about to play the
and
ninth frame.
Elisa Hiltonen also is doing quite good.
Robin for an 8-bagger.
Oh,
7-10.
7-10. That's not a happy one. That's for sure.
It's going to turn a potential 290 into 268 or 267 at best, I think.
No, 250, 257 if he takes one.
Yes, sorry.
Arnar Jonsson made a double on the 10th for a 6-bagger. So he's on his way for a 245 game. But Arnar really needed that. He started pretty low on this squad.
Yeah,
I
but
think he shot 150.
the only thing Arnar really has to worry about if he's even going to care about his qualifying is getting
Yeah,
into the
getting
top
into the
25.
into the step 2 directly, right?
Yeah, and that takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders because otherwise you're gonna have to bowl 6 extra games and need to be in the top 15 out of 30 in those 6 first games. And maybe another 2 hours of sleep is gonna help you out a bit.
Yeah, that definitely is one of the things that can help you a lot after a long day of bowling.
Yeah. So yeah, when you think of it, it's not just that you have already qualified. It's you have a physical advantage over the rest because you have to bowl less.
You bowl less, you rest more. It probably if it gives you a chance to see what's happening at the end of step 1
Yeah.
to see if there is any major changes on the lanes and what people is doing on the lanes. And as we said before, this is a very complex game. It's a lot of factors that you want to pay attention to, and the more you see, the more you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you a question now.
Yeah,
Do
go
you
ahead.
think there are gonna be any 300 games at all during today or tomorrow?
We were asked that yesterday quite late at night. There was two tough questions to answer. Number one was, is there going to be any 300? Number two was, is Jesper going to make it into the final? I said I was hoping that Jesper would find some solution to make it into the final, even if it's a little bit difficult because Jesper has, of course, is ultra mega talented, but he also has such a high rev rate and he's so used to grabbing the ball with so much bowling urethane as he does that this is not the easiest pattern for him. Also being a lefty, if he changes to reactive, he has to move quite deep and he's crossing a little bit of the right-handers traffic.
And
Shouldn't be a factor,
no,
but
but
mentally it could become a factor. And about the 300 games, I said I did not think it was going to happen. It was very, very early in the morning. We nearly had the 300 by Nico Oksanen. He shot
299.
he shot 299. He was doing really good until the very last frame where I decided to pull my phone. Christian Jonas was over there. I said, I'm not sure. I told him, I'm not sure I want to record that one for the Instagram because as soon as I pull my phone, people usually struggle a lot. And let me tell you, I waited and I waited and I waited and I said, okay, it's 12 frame now. It's not going to be that expensive. It doesn't happen. So I pulled my phone and the ball was terrible. It was in the middle of the head pin and it could have been a 297 easily. It could have been the 3610. It was only the three. So if there was any betting on this question, and if I had to bet something, I would say no. And as soon as anyone had 11 in a row, I would run out there with my phone to make sure I don't lose the bet.
Yeah.
What do you think?
If you asked me earlier in the week, I would have said yes for sure. But now I'm not so sure. But I'm gonna say yes because tomorrow we still have a lot of games to go, and I think people are gonna be even more focused tomorrow.
Actually, I'm going to take a different approach. I'm going to take a different approach. I believe tomorrow is bigger chances, not only because the best bowlers are going to be on the lane and the ones who have found out how to bowl this pattern better than the others. But one factor that I believe that could be quite critical is that tomorrow is going to be less bowlers on the lanes. So it's going to be a little bit less of burning on the lanes. It's going to remain fresh for a little longer in a way. It's going to be less traffic, especially late on the day when they don't bowl more than one bowler per lane. Then it's going to be a lot less traffic. The best
Yeah,
bowlers are going to be on that stage. As you said, they're going to be even more focused. And maybe if it happens, it should be on that late stage tomorrow.
and looking back to 2023, which was also very difficult, but it was slightly higher scoring than it is this year, but still pretty similar. We saw a 300 game on day one, and then we only saw one more, which was AJ Johnson in the quarterfinals.
Mm.
So we had one at the very beginning and one at the very end, essentially.
We will have to see. We will have to see. Okay, let's check a little bit the run. We see 244 for Arne Johnson, but only 384 total. Cecile, she dropped down to 414, same score as his partner in the lane, Carl Eklund. Santu, he had an open frame at the end, so 4 over par. Megan G. DK, 248 to go up to 26 over. 5 and 6 was paying out quite good on this game. Usually it's a tough pattern, but we saw 248, 244, 225. Robin Norberg 435, Elisa Hiltonen 436. And then we have to move to Dan Harding on lane 8 to see 420. We will come back to 9 and 10 because Kyle and the guys are still 3 frames delayed compared to the others. If I go to lane 11, I find Marcus Jansson with 223 and a total score of 415. Tobias 197 for a total of 407. High scoring. And the score moved away. Ethan Fury was doing okay. 17 and 18, we find Thomas McNeil. He just has a washout, but he's with a 5-bagger in between. So let's see if he can take the spare. Now, only 2. That's not the best. But 202 on the 9th frame. Still has the 10th frame to go. He's already with 40 over. So if he triples, it's going to go all the way for 232 and 470. And if I move to 9 and 10, where they still have to bowl the 9th and the 10th frame, we find Ben Robinson with spare double, spare triple, and now split. He left the 3-7. That's the 210 for the lefties. And Kyle Trapp, spare, spare, 5-bagger, spare.
Yes.
I
And
think that's the highest start for Kyle so far.
yeah, and as I mentioned before, Kyle needs a big squad now because he's right on the cusp.
He started pretty good this morning, but
Yeah.
he really collapsed on game 3. He had like 150 something on game three this morning on the early squad. Um, let's see what kind of traffic is gonna hit after this particular game, because he's
Yeah.
on his way to be on approximately 470. If he makes a couple of strikes, it's going to be between 470 and 490, depends on how he ends this game.
Yeah.
So I want to really see what goes on for Kyle on game three, which usually has been the wall.
Yeah. Uh, Coming back to what you said, you were talking about Jasper and his chances of making the cut earlier. I don't see him in the player list for the final squad, so if he doesn't get in there, he's actually out.
Yeah, defending champion would be out. Over here, we can see the players who are registered for the next squad, but we don't really see the waiting list.
No.
So we don't know if Jesper is on the waiting list and how far.
And I don't think our list updates either because I think Daniel does that
Yeah,
on
Daniel
paper.
does that upstairs. Actually, those things happen at the very last moment. Some people may be registered, but they already qualified or they don't show
Exactly.
up. This morning, for example, the guy from Gibraltar, Jamie Hickey, he was number 64 on the waiting list, but he ended up bowling this morning.
Yeah. And but also talking about Jesper, maybe one reason why he has, or one thing that could explain why he has also been struggling a bit is if we look at the hand that the top 40 are using, we have two lefties in the entire top 40.
We have Eric Jones with 1331 and James Blomgren with 1317.
And then we have
And then
actually
we have
Justin Knowles.
Justin Knowles,
So three lefties in the top
1316. Three lefties on top
40.
40 positions.
So that's not even
That's
10%.
no, that's one lefty every 13 bowlers, more or less.
Yeah.
But I would like to know exactly how many lefties are really bowling compared to the right-handers. I mean, is it 10% of the bowlers are lefties in the event?
I'm
It's gonna be
gonna
hard to
see
it's
if I
gonna be
can.
hard to know that, but we're gonna see if we can find that out. Yes, it would be interesting to know, because usually we see a lot of lefties on a final, and we say, oh, this was a lefties alley. It was easier on the left side, and sometimes that is true. But sometimes when it's the opposite, when we only see a couple of lefties over there, it's like, oh, it was very hard for the lefties, but maybe there isn't that many lefties on the field either. Um, One thing is for sure, of all these two-handed bowlers that can bowl backup, we haven't seen anyone doing it. So it shouldn't be any advantage to be a lefty. I'm just not sure it's really harder for a lefty than a right-hander. I just believe it's very hard for both of them. One thing that could explain is that usually lefties have a tendency to bowl a little bit more in the corner than right-handers, and this is not a pattern to bowl in the corner. So that could be the explanation as well. Don't worry if you don't listen to Victor at the moment. Is counting how many lefties do we have, and as soon as we see how many lefties and how many bowlers, we're gonna have a better idea on what's the percentage of lefties on the field.
Um, so there are 373 players,
Hmm.
and I counted about 40 lefties. So yes, it is about 10% of the
About
field.
10% of the field, and so it should be four lefties. If it was exactly the percentage out of 40, it should be four, and
Yeah,
it's three. So that's what I was saying. It's not that it's a lot lower than usual, and it's that on the contrary, usually it's more lefties making the final than the percentage bowling.
yeah,
And as I was saying, I think lefties have a tendency to bowl a little bit more on the side of the lane. They don't usually move that deep inside. They usually have a tendency to bowl more straighter on the gutter, and this pattern is not very friendly to bowl outside.
yeah. And but I think considering it's pretty much the exact same percentage of lefties and righties in the cut right now, I'd say that means that the pattern is very well made and very well balanced between the two sides.
So
I'd say.
after 10 days of bitching the lane guy, we have to say
Yeah,
he really knows what he's doing.
yeah, exactly,
He already knows. He knows what he's doing. Otherwise, he wouldn't be here, right?
exactly.
We only bring the best of the best,
But we all know that it's
and I
it,
am the exception to that
yeah.
rule.
We all know that it's the lane guy's fault when you do bad, and it's your own skill when you bowl well.
Okay, 9 and 10. Kyle Troop striking on the 10th, striking on the 11th. He's going to score 250 long, 256 if he strikes on the 12th. And he can go all the way up to 491, which is one of his highest squats, I believe. And
That's the same score he has right now, to par.
let's hope he doesn't hit the wall again on game 3.
Yeah, I think he'll need, but as it looks right now, he might only need like 8-15 in the last four
Yeah,
games.
yeah, you just exactly,
Or I
exactly.
say
And
only because that is pretty difficult. It's proved this week.
it's very difficult, especially if you find yourself into a couple of tricky pairs right after that people have done something weird with those lanes. Um, but he's looking good.
Yeah, let's not jinx Kyle too much here. But yeah, he does shoot 256 to go 91 over par. Ben Robinson is gonna finish with a 7 there, so it's gonna be he's gonna
228
yeah he's gonna be
and 412.
12 over par. Yeah. So we're just gonna wait for the results to update.
Yeah, and they are gonna bowl most of them on lanes 5 and 6 and 13 and 14. So if they are a little bit delayed later on, because for example on 7 and 8 they are already starting the 5th frame. So by the time they get into those lanes, they're gonna be half a game delayed again.
Yeah.
So someone broke the rhythm from the beginning, and we are a little bit out of rhythm.
I didn't notice that, but I suspect there might have had a slightly more major breakdown at the start of that
Mm,
game.
looks that way.
Because from what I could see in the first game, they weren't bowling slow. They were just far behind from the start. So
Mm. So if you guys want to follow, Kyle Trupp is now gonna bowl on lane 13 and 14. Is sitting comfy with 91 over. On that same camera, you can find Tim Stampe, Niklas Sorensen, both doing quite okay during the week on this particular squad. Niklas is 42 over. Also on that camera, you can see lanes 15 and 16, which have the Spectre Life going on. You find Ethan Fury there, and you find Marcus Johnson as well. Those are another couple of interesting bowlers to see how they do. And now we have the scores updated. We have up to 18 bowlers with par or above par. The leader is Kyle Trapp, 491. Number 2 is Timo Putkisto, 473. United States, Thomas McNeil, third spot, 460. Ethan Fury is number 4 with 455. Niklas Sorensen, 442. Elisa Hiltunen, 436, another great star for Elisa, 211, 225. Then we find Robin Norberg with 435, Philip Stangren, 432, the Danish Megan Dikay with 426. And if we watch a little bit lower, we can find Cecile. She has dropped to 14 over, but three girls above par, 436, 426, 414. We're gonna have to keep an eye on them. We said already 28 over could give them a gateway. 34 over is the current lead for the girls.
yeah,
So actually, Elisa, she just only only has to bowl 800, but now it's when the fun begins, when they start to have moving in. Um, it's not easy for them. It's not easy to create enough speed, and especially if they started bowling around 10, 11, 12. As soon as they want to move a little bit in, they find all the traffic from every guy over there. So it looks like they have to start on 11, 12 on the arrows, and all of a sudden they need to move all the way deeper to 23, 22, 23
Yeah,
and start spinning the ball. Otherwise, they hit the middle of the traffic, which is what I believe has been happening to many of them. And it becomes very hard. If you're in the
yeah,
traffic, definitely you have zero room into any of the sides. So you need to be super, super, super accurate. And if they move a lot deeper to 23, 24, 25, some of them miss a little bit of pin action, miss a little bit of entry angle. So it becomes very, very tough.
yeah. And you mentioned speed on the ladies' side. That might make it a bit more difficult as well because we've almost seen players using more and more speed the further into the block we get because it hooks so unbelievably much.
Mm.
I see Santu Tavanainen already in front of the ball return on the right lane and
And
lofting. Not,
Santo is quite deep already. Frame 6 on game 3. So that's more than half of the squad yet to go. And
but Santu is currently sitting in. Oh, let me check where he is sitting in the overall standing. Santu is currently right outside the cut, so he is gonna need to
as
find a lot more pins in the last three and a
1290,
half
that's
games.
spot 58. Just one mark more,
Yeah,
and it
or,
would be. And then we see
or just some better count,
we
maybe.
see a lot of big names over there. We see Kyle Trapp 1291, 56. Bjorn Jensen 1290, 57. Santu 1290, 58. Martin Larsen 1285, 59. Tim Stampe 1282, 60. William Berggren 79, 61. Oliver Dahlgren 75, 62. Richard Tees 1274, 63. So it's a lot of good bowlers over there and a big amount of bowlers in such a very, very small area. Lane 1 and 2, Robin Norberg starts with the first three. He just shot 244, so it looks like Robin is feeling comfortable at the moment. Thomas McNeil, 238 to 22, is also bowling on lane 1 and 2. He started with a strike, spare, strike. Ethan Fury with 55 over is now bowling on 15 and 16, but he's got a couple of open frames and a double. Kyle Trupp started pretty good for being game 3. He's got a double on lanes 13 and 14. Niklas Horensen just bird the 6-7, which is quite difficult. So strike, spare, spare for Niklas.
And when the scores are as low as they are, those are the times we really get the pins.
Mm. Yeah, you need every single spare. 7 and 8, we have front 6 for Magnus. I don't know where Magnus was. 438 minus 120. No, he was pretty low. He had 318 on the first two games.
Yeah,
And if he's going for the turbo, he's a couple of games early.
exactly. One thing I was actually reminded of by myself here was that when we talked about Jesper probably not making the cut this year. That's actually a trend from last year because AJ Johnson, who won in 2023, also just about missed the cut last year. So let's hope that that doesn't turn into a trend at this tournament. That the reigning champion doesn't.
He just want to finish
Yeah,
second after all, so
yeah,
or win it and skip a couple of years
yeah.
back home, take a vacation, right?
Christianas is sitting here saying it's a difference in the patterns.
Yeah.
So yeah, I finished second. Yeah, that is. Yeah,
I remember a couple of years ago it was a lot longer and a lot thicker. I think it remember it was like 37 mils.
33.
Uh, 34, 34. Well, still more meals than it is now, and it was longer than it is now. Yeah, yeah, that one was quite deep.
And that was oiled almost the whole way down, so it wasn't just the brush doing the job.
Okay, lane 7, Magnus. He just got the 7th. So front 7 for Magnus on 7 and 8. And I don't see any particular other high score. Bowling with Magnus, Tobias started with the front 4, but then he did split spare, split miss, 9 miss.
Dominic Barrett has got a 4-bagger. Where is he sitting in the overall standings?
397
Yeah.
on this particular squad. And on the overall,
Oh, I'm gonna check that. He is in 70th place, so he's also gonna have to do something high in the last couple of games here. Dominic had a great run last year, but lost, I think, to Martin Larsen in the quarterfinals, which if I think that was a pretty close match, if I'm not mistaken.
well, I wasn't here last year, so I can't remember for sure. I had some back issues. I had to be doing some rehab, and I really missed it. I mean, this is the one event I don't want to miss. It's the funniest of the season, so I'm very happy this year. I'm here watching the action right from close.
And we're getting even, and there are more and more of the big international names coming here
Oh my
every year.
God, look at the strike that Magnus just got on lane 8.
Yeah, and
He was
that's
hard on the headpin. He had the 3-6-10, and the 3-6-10 came falling forward. That's the 8th strike. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm not going to say the number, because if you say the number, you jinx it 100% for sure. But usually, to get that number, you need to be lucky.
yes,
And that
which he
strike
just was.
was really, really, really lucky. So
There,
let's see what goes on. Oh, now we have to put our hands up. Kyle Trapp just left the 5-pin on lane 13.
there it is, the lucky Larsen Masters as well. So maybe he used that luck a bit as well.
Definitely. Dominic Barrett, 5 in a row. If he strikes out, it's a game of 256. So that would put him a little bit above 50 over par.
Yeah.
And, well, he needs that. He actually needs that.
So I'm not gonna jinx this now, but it's funny that we just had the discussion last game about the number, and let's see if we've jinxed it or if I've been
We didn't
guessing
say the
correct.
number, so
No.
it shouldn't be an issue.
No.
What could be an issue on that shot? It's that maybe he just hit transition in the middle of the game, and he has to do the 10 frame on that particular lane 8.
Oh, 10
Oh,
pin.
solid 7. Yeah, definitely. It doesn't matter if you say the number or not. Just to have the thought crossing your mind, it seems to be jinxing people.
We should have said he's gonna shoot 279 and 299. Then
I agree.
we reversed jinxed him.
Now let's talk to the people in the chat. Everybody is quite quiet. I don't know if you guys are having lunch or you're, well, it's 5 p.m. here in Europe. So probably half of South Europe is doing siesta at the moment. It's very hot. So maybe they are starting to wake up pretty soon and they're getting their cup of coffee. Look at that. That I can never understand. I mean, you just have to spare straight. Why would you go around and hook backup for sparing the 10 pin? Obviously, I'm talking about Magnus. He had front 8, solid 10. And not only he missed the 10 pin, but he missed it by at least half the lane. And I mean, I know I shouldn't be saying it that way, but I'm going to say it anyway. Young guys over there, learn to bowl straight on the spur. Stop hooking it. When you bowl on the night league and you can miss 20 boards into any side, you can hook it. You can even spare it under your legs if you want to. But when you're bowling on tough patterns like this one, where you have no room, You cannot hook the damn spare ball because you're gonna start missing the way you do it, and it annoys me. I tell you, it annoys me. It's so easy to spare a single pin. You can do it with the index finger with any 6 pound balls in the house. You put your finger in there, and you just let the swing be relaxed. You're never gonna miss that target. I mean, if you think of the thickness of a pin, one pin is nearly, I would say, 5 or 6 boards thick, and the ball is another 10 boards thick. So that's 16 boards plus 10 on the other side. Down there, you have nearly 20 boards to still touch any single pin. And maybe the 7 on the 10 are in the corner, so you only have room on one side, but it's a lot of room. You can still spare it. I don't believe it.
Uh,
It's a lot of politics talking now. Should we ban the urethane? Should we not ban the urethane? We should ban the people from sparing with hook. That's what we should ban. God damn it. Unbelievable.
I will say,
I need a
yeah,
warm cup of tea now to calm down. But
yeah,
this one was it just made the click in my brain. It's like it was. I'm done with it. I'm fed with it. What the hell is wrong with you guys?
well,
Learn to spur straight. It's so easy. And if you don't know how to bowl straight with two hands, just buy a spur ball that are only $80. They are super cheap. They last for 5, 10, 20 years. And put a thumb in there and learn to bowl straight.
I will,
Okay, now I'm a
I
little
will,
bit more relaxed.
I will say regarding that, it is a lot. If you just bowl straight from the beginning, in spares, it is a lot easier for a player that can bowl straight to become accurate on spares than it is for a player that is accurate to learn to bowl straight on the spares.
Nej, inte snacka skit. It's so
Yeah,
easy to bowl
yeah,
straight. I mean, it takes nothing. All you have to
Eh,
do, you put your 3 fingers in there, and
yeah.
you use your thumb to point into that direction. You don't need to give any rep rates. You don't need any power on the wrist. You don't need to be strong. You don't need to be fit. Perhaps you need to be smart. I don't know.
And the best spare shoot, or one of the best spare shooters on the tour, that's Jesper, and he's got 600 RPMs. So, it, yeah, exactly. He uses spare ball.
Exactly. Christian Jonas just gave a point. Jasper balls to hand, but he doesn't do any backup. He doesn't hook any spur. He doesn't do any crazy thing. He grabs his spare ball and he goes for the pin.
And it goes dead straight every time.
Yes. Now some people is gonna think, what's wrong with Louis? He went crazy. By the way, I forgot I have to say hello to some people who's watching. Tjena Jordis, tjena Lennart. Jag hoppas allt är bra. Jag saknar dig. So big hug to both of you. Oh, we have some people over here. Johan Soderstrom. Hey, I'm here. I'm listening. I hope you did. I hope I didn't wake anybody from the siesta with my anger on that 10-pin miss, but it got all over my head. It was unbelievable. I see so many 9 miss, 9 miss, 9 miss. It's unbelievable. You know what's gonna happen now? If my back recovers a little bit and I start bowling, as soon as I go back Spain, as soon as I miss one single pin, everybody's gonna come to me like, "What the hell are you doing? You were talking a lot about not missing any spurs."
You just jinxed yourself for
Nah,
the
no,
next season.
no, no, no. I really have no pressure on that. When I bowled for real, my percentage was as any PBA. Even if I look at lane talk when I bowled this couple of years back in Mora, uh, 10 pin was about 97%. And every single pin, I think the lowest it was 95 or 94%. So no, sparing is a lot easier. You just, I mean, it couldn't be any easier. Just slide the ball on your target. That's it.
I don't know what the exact spare percentage in the whole field is on the tour, but I think it's about 95% on the makeables. And that
Mm.
includes washouts, even, I believe.
Washouts is a different history for me. That I already explained before, and I explained yesterday. That's definitely not my spur. Actually, now that we were talking about lane talk and stats, since I was not only bowling in Mora, but I was coaching. We used a lot of the stats on lane talk to see what was going on. And when I tried to teach the young kids that they needed to learn to spare and how it was about the spare, there was a very funny stat over there for me. I had a lot worse spare percentage on the 310 than the 210. My 310 percentage was like 35% more or less, and the 210 was nearly 50%. And that is quite insane because the 210 is not that simple. But I blame it to the fact that I got used to spare the 310 when I was a little boy, and I bowled with very light balls, like 10, 11 pounds. And back then, I just thought all I have to do is touch the 3 pin on the right side, because then the ball, by the lightweight, it would deflect to the 10. And it has never become that easy as it was when I was a little boy. So for that spare, I would actually grab a 10 or 11 pound ball. It would make it a lot easier.
Although one spare I would recommend use a little bit of hook on is maybe the 3-9, because otherwise
Yeah,
they
but
dictate a dead
three
center.
nine is different. That
Yeah,
the 3-9 for me is it's actually where I'm shooting my strike shots. I grab the strike shot, I move four boards to the right, and I do a strike release. And then I take it 100% of the time. And the only variable I have on that particular spare is when I bowl on this super high ratio that they have a lot more oil in the center than on the corners. On those ones, instead of four boards, I found out I need to do five boards,
yeah,
because otherwise the ball fights a little bit with that wall or that hold of oil in the middle. But one thing is groups of pins, but the single pin, a single pin, why the hell would you make your life so hard? Just go straight.
definitely.
And look at Osku. He's a two-handed bowler, but he spurs with one hand.
Yeah, he does. He does. And you see that actually on a lot of um, former one-handers that become two-handers. They keep sparing one-handed for years.
Hmm.
I think Matt Ogle was doing it
Hmm.
um, when when he was in the start of his PBA career.
I believe Walter Ray for sure kept sparing one-handed.
Yeah,
Uh, we should find out about the Tang brothers. Darren, I think it's Darren, switching from one to two, back to one, back to two. Okay, we have some people talking over here. Actually, they were talking about when Darren Tang started playing two hands, he continued to spare with one hand. Thank you, Anders. Mr. Jojo, Kyle is playing the Iron Max, which is quite a strong ball. What do you think he will be switching to in game 5-6? Iron Pro Solid. Actually, um, yeah, he has been using a lot that Iron Pro Solid. Uh, I'm not sure he had a Gremlin or what ball it was. It was a little bit darker. But if you see it, the Iron Max he's throwing is super shiny. He moved the surface up. I believe they moved all the way up to 2000 or 3000 before the shiny. And but he's doing pretty good actually. We forgot to keep an eye on him. He's bowling on lanes 13 and 14, double, nine spur, triple, nine spur. So Kyle is saving the world. He's been having a lot of issues on game three on this tournament so far. So
where is
that
he? You said
over here on 13 and 14,
13 or 14.
and he's doing very good actually.
Yeah,
Uh, he still can go all the way up to 247, and that would be a total score of 738. So
yeah.
138 over after three games.
And then it would pretty much be enough to shoot 575 in the
Hmm.
last three
Hmm.
games.
So then he would probably have to switch
Yeah.
to the spare ball and hit the pocket no matter what.
I think when you get to the end of the tournament, some people might become nervous knowing pretty much exactly what the cut is going to be. But if you have a good start, then it might be calming to know that all right, I don't need to bowl that good, so some pressure is off.
Hmm. Hmm.
But the second you start to struggle, that is when the pressure kicks in again.
We have Mr. Jojo says that yes, his Iron Solid looked almost sharper than his Iron Max. Um, the thing is, when you fly all the way from United States over here, it's not easy to have 12 balls with you. You probably they just travel with 6 balls. Maybe someone brought one or two more, but I believe they brought 6 balls. Of course, we have a pro shop in here, and if they need something, they can drill it. Uh, if I was the ball rep at the moment and I had to let them make a decision for a little bit later on, I would definitely go for something with higher G, low differential, probably pin down, so it creates even a higher RG and an even lower differential. Maybe some high road, even some IQ Emerald. I believe a ball that would work very good over here would be that older IQ Tour 30 anniversary, the black one, the pearl black one. That would be pretty good for this late movements on the lanes. But yeah, we will have to have a look and see what ball he's going to use on games 4, 5, and 6. But so far, he's doing pretty good, uh, staying quite above the par. And not that many people. Now it's actually it's just that lane is a little bit delayed, 13 and 14, as we said before. So as soon as they are done, we will be able to refresh the scoring for the whole group, and we will find out how many dropped down. We had, can we check again, Victor? I think we said it was 16 or 17 bowlers still above par on this particular squad.
We currently have
18
yeah
bowlers
18.
above par, and we will see how many remain above par after game 3, when usually is when the tricky situation shows up.
Yeah, we just have one pair that is yet to finish, but they only have one frame to go. So it's going to be done in 2 or 3
Yeah, a
minutes.
couple of minutes, more or less.
And I think I'm gonna let this squad or this game finish and watch the scores update, and then I'm gonna take a break and head off for a bit.
And I'm going to tell you to stay for
Yeah.
1 minute. Let me
Yeah.
grab a glass of water and I'll be right back.
Yes. So on that pair 13 and 14 as the last one to finish here, we saw Niklas Sorensen finish with a 206 there, Tim Stampe with a 187. Cal Troop has the potential to shoot 236, which would bring him to, let's see, that will bring him to, I think, 120 over par. As now Louis is back.
Yeah, it's so much talking. Apologies everywhere. I really needed to grab some water and clear my throat. Um, who else is talking? Johan, sorry. One of you makes a scrapping noise with the microphone. Is it? Really, we don't know. We're gonna make sure that every mic is on the right spot. Number 2 is down, and number 1 and number 3. Well, not sure what made that be the cause. We're actually hanging, handling the mics on the hand, so it's not one of those mics that's constantly rubbing with your clothes. But if you guys hear that there's some weird noise, let us know so we can check out, see what's really happening.
It's probably just us gripping the mic in a weird way or something. That's making it a
Maybe it was
scripting
that 10-pin miss that I grabbed the phone even harder. It could be the cause.
Yeah.
Mr. Jojo says missing Jasper in the last squad. Any info if he's on the waiting list? Daniel was here a couple of minutes ago.
He's not anymore.
But it's not anymore. It's kind of busy. It's moving around a lot. It's a lot of things happening. A lot of people needing things. But as soon as he jumps in, we're gonna try to find out if Jasper is on the waiting list and if he's gonna be able to bowl on that last squad.
But the way it sounded, what Daniel said before is he didn't think that many people were gonna get in on the waiting list even in the last game because it's a full squad and not that many. There are not that many of next squad bowlers that are bowling right now.
Now, and probably you feel like those who I'm not making, they would have given up already, right?
So Cal Troop shoots 236 here to go to 127 over par.
That's
Which is a
really
great
high
score.
scoring. That's really high scoring for him. That means he only needs like 570, 190 average on the next three, maybe 191 average, so he can secure like 100 over. That would be more than enough. Now Daniel is back, so we can pop in the question. Daniel, people is trying to find out: is there any chance that Jasper is on the waiting list for the last squad?
Yes, he is. But I don't know if he wants to play.
Okay. And we don't know if he's gonna make it anyway because the waiting list is quite busy, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. So yes, Jesper is on the waiting list. We will have to wait and see if he managed to make it into that final spot. Um, those who have managed to enter the final spot, they have been doing quite okay. We remind you, Trevor, he was on the waiting list. He was not supposed to bowl, and 10 minutes before the squad started, he ended up bowling, and he did 1444. So maybe not thinking you're gonna bowl and end up bowling could be the trick into getting that spot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, game three is over. We're starting game four. We're just gonna refresh the scores in a minute more or less. Oh, that was quick. We already have it. I'm gonna start writing down which lane our top seeded bowlers on this squad are bowling, so I have a little bit less difficulties finding them out. We have Kyle, who's
Yeah.
now gonna bowl on lane 17.
And we in second place we have Robin Nobody and 689.
Where is Robin at the moment? You find him? Where is he bowling?
I'm gonna try to find that out. He was.
That's what I'm trying to write down, so
He
it's
is.
easy for me
He
to
is
find
also
him.
on 17 and 18.
Okay, yeah.
And we have Thomas McNeil, who is at 651. And I'm gonna see if I can find him anywhere.
Yeah, I found him. Lane 5 for McNeil.
Yeah, and then we have Timo
Timo
Putkisto.
Putkisto from Finland.
There we go.
49 over.
And he is.
I've been practicing my Finnish these last couple of days. That's why I could get it over there.
Yeah.
So we have
He is also on 5 and 6.
Also
and Niklas
on,
Sørensen is on. He was on 13 and 14 last game, I think. So he should be somewhere around. Yeah, he is with Kyle on 17 and 18.
Oh, true. Niklas is bowling with Kyle.
And
so
then we
he's
have
also on
Ethan
17.
Fiore on 644. And I think this is going to be.
Ethan, we're not going to really follow.
No.
People can follow Ethan. Ethan is already on the final, so let's focus on those who still need to get their spot in the final. And Elisa Hiltunen, 211, 225, 204, 40 over after 3. That's really good for Elisa. So far, surviving the early transition. Let's see if we can find where Elisa, I believe she was bowling with Robin. Yes, she's on lane 18.
And she needs 1228 as it stands right now to make the cut.
She's more or less in the same spot as Kyle. Maybe needs a little bit more than Kyle to make it into the girls' top 2. She actually needs
she's in at the moment.
580.
Yeah.
No, 590.
Yeah.
590.
Exactly.
So a little bit short to 200 average on the next 3. She would be making it into the final. And who else was there on the?
We also have, I think we have
another
Emil Svensson.
Emil 37 plus.
And
we can see if Emil does a good 4th game and he jumps a little bit up, so we don't have to follow that many people. The other one who we are gonna pay attention to is Megan from Denmark. She's also over par with 617. So that means if she repeats those 3 games of 617, she's also going to make it into the girls' spot. So let me write down Megan. Let's see if we find where Megan is bowling at the moment.
Yeah.
Megan DK, Megan DK.
But with that, I'm gonna say I'm gonna thank you for tuning in.
No, thank
Listen
you,
to
buddy.
me.
It's a
So
pleasure always to spend some time with you and to be on the streaming together.
it's been a pleasure.
I found Megan. She's
That's
on lane
perfect.
13, so now I
Yeah.
have everything more or less
So we will
under
see.
control.
We will see if I'm gonna be on the mic anymore. But if I'm not, I want to say thank you for letting me commentate with you this week. It's been a pleasure.
It's been super fun, buddy. I just hope you carry on your progression as a young bowler and
Thank
keep
you. Thank you.
carrying on, and especially that it was very good for you on that Kegel seminar with Christian Jonas. That's going to help you in the near future. Well done by attending. That proves how smart you are. And I wish you the best, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and now I'm gonna grab the horse and keep riding. Lane 17 and 18, Kyle Trupp started with a strike. He's now gonna shoot on lane 18. Let's see if he can get the double. So far, he's still bowling with a polished iron max. He's looking pretty good. Little bit of early motion. That's why he showed the 10 pin, but the messenger did the job and he got the double. Bowling on the same pair, we had Robin, who's got 7 spare and an open frame, and Elisa. And Elisa also started with a double. That's very good news for her. She carries on quite good. She's already on 40 pins over. Looking like she's going to make it all the way to the final if she can continue to carry on that way. Oh, Arnar just spared the 7-10. On lane 9 and 10. We have a bit more of a lot more people talking. We see Chasbury, the most dangerous words in bowling. I only need, as in how many pins needed for a cut. Yes, I agree with you. That's not the mental preparation you want to put yourself into before you have to make a strike. You never want to have in your brain, I have to do whatever. It's better to keep in your mind, I want to do that and I can do that because I've done it a million times before. Uh, Not a good shot for Kyle on lane 17. That was nearly a Brooklyn, but it's only a 9 pin, so it should be no issues for him. Let's see who else is over there. Let me find Timu. Timu was bowling on lane 6. And he's got pretty good game at the beginning for Timu. 4 bagger, 9 spare. That's good. Timu is already 49 over, plus those 29 he grabbed over there is already 78 over at the half of game 4. The next one we want to pay attention to is Niklas Sorensen. Niklas is running with 48 over, and now it's on a strike spare strike. The 2 girls who are fighting to make their spots into the final. Elisa Hiltonen now shooting on lane 18. 10 pin, but she's got a double already. Let's have a look on lane 13. Megan DK. Also 10 pin. A kind of a similar reaction for both of them. The ball's reading a little bit early. It's dropping a little bit of energy before it reaches the pin, so you can see the ball slowly and slightly deflecting outside of the pocket. That's the main reason why they are getting those 10 pins. But taking the spare, that's a good job for Elisa. Now let's see what Megan can do. Yeah, she does it too. She also takes a 10 pin. Good spare for both of them. Lane 5, we had Thomas McNeil strike, 9 miss, double, and a split that he could not recover from. So he's got 80 on the fifth frame. McNeil was currently with 51 over par, so it's not too high, but definitely he don't want to give away any pins for the following games. Otherwise, that's going to force him to do 480, 490 on the last two, and that is not so easy either. Okay, people still above par that's doing okay. We have Don Harding, who was 14 over in a 4-bagger and just one open frame. Marcus Johnson, 28 over, a triple and a double, also with an open frame. And are we watching the replay on the 710? Yes, actually, my beloved technician over there, Jonte, is letting me see the spur of the 710 for Arner. He went for the 7. He fucking destroyed the pin. The pin actually came all the way out into the middle of the lane, did a couple of spins before resting in the gutter. Yes, he killed those 710 pins. I guess that doesn't count like sparing the 710 on TV, right? Another good spare for Timo Putkisto on lane 5 and 6. It's a 4-bag and 9 spare strike, 9 spare. He keeps on that pace of 78 over par. Now looking back to lanes 17 and 18, we have 3 of our score leaders. We have Kyle and we have Niklas and we have Elisa for the girls division. So when we pay attention to that, Niklas, he just had an open frame. So it's dropping a little bit. Both Kyle and Elisa, they remain over par on this game. Kyle Trupp is a double 9 spare strike. Elisa is a double 9 spare and 8. Okay, if I look around, people doing a few strikes, not that many. On lanes 9 to 12, Team Stampe, a double and no miss so far. On 11 and 12, we find Carl Eklund and Ethan Fury. Carl is with a triple and no mistakes. Ethan is with a double and no mistakes. On lanes 7 and 8, we have a double and an open frame, but then 4 in a row for Chase. Dominic Barrett with the triple. We just paired the 5-6, kind of a baby split. Thank you, buddy. Lane 7, we have Florentine with a triple. Lanes 1 to 4, nothing really happening. Same thing on 13 and 14. We have Megan over there with one open frame, so she's dropping up a little bit. Kevin Mellin doing okay on lane 16, but Kevin was not having the highest of his scores. He was below par. Quite a few strikes on lane 19 and 20 also for Oli Lislian. Triple and a double, and UC Lane with a double and a 4-bagger. Both of them though have an open frame. Same thing for Marcus Johnson, triple and a double, but 2 open frames. So as I was saying before, now it's very close to the end of the qualifying round, so we want to pay attention to those people who really have a real chance to make it into the final. We are on game 4. 5 and 6 is going to be turbo, so we're going to look around to see if somebody can make a 280 game and find their way into the finals by the turbo. But those who really have a chance at the moment is the leading squad at the moment, Kyle Trapp, 127 over. Kyle is now bowling on 17 and 18, and he's got a double, 9 spare, and a double. Robin is also on that pair. He's got one open frame, but a double on lane 18. Bowling with Robin, we find Elisa. Elisa was currently 40 over, which, if she remains on the par on the next three, would give her the lead on the ladies division and a pass or a gateway straight into the final. Elisa so far has got a double and a couple of spares, and a strike on the fifth frame. She's going to try to get a double to increase that scoring pace a little bit more and feel a little bit more confident for the last two games. Megan on lane 13, she had one open frame and she just missed a single pin, so she's dropping down a little bit. Not good news for her. Megan was a little bit lower, still above par. She was 17 above par, but with the game she has now, she would be 10 under par. And she would need 440 on the next two games to become somewhere in the top two on the ladies division. Doing quite good. We have Chase Nadeau, who's going to shoot with one more strike. We're going to have a 256 perhaps. Yes, he gets the strike, so it's a 256. And a very special guest all of a sudden. Yes, we have to go. Give me a second. You can grab this one over here. Sound. Thank God for that. I'm a DJ. I know how this one works. So no problem. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate. Okay, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. I'm just gonna say you have a very familiar face. It's one of those faces people see week after week after week on the tour.
Just don't have the familiar mustache right now. Yeah, I'm Brett Spangler. I'm the tour rep for Motive Bowling. Just enjoying a week or two here in Helsingborg.
Welcome. It's
Thank
nice to have you here on the streaming. It's going to be nice to talk to you. You can give us a lot of information, and especially the perspective that bowlers we don't really have exactly. Your job is quite demanding and quite important at the moment, I believe.
Oh, you're putting the pressure on me now. You know, I thought we were just gonna sit
Oh,
in here and tell jokes or something. I
They
don't know.
told you it was going to be easy. No, I'm not easy. I'm never easy. I'm always going and drilling a little bit deeper and deeper. But honestly, I believe the job you are doing on the tour, it's super important.
Oh, thank you.
The game has evolved into a lot more complex than it was 20, 25 years ago, even more 30 years ago. And now it is necessary for the guys to have people like you in the back helping them to see something that they may not be seeing due to the position they are on the lanes on. You have a lot of pressure. You have to focus on your shot, your technique. So sometimes some small details may slip away. And
Sure.
since you're not bowling, you're on the background. Obviously, you know your equipment, you know the stuff that your brand is manufacturing. So it's very important if you can give them that extra
Yeah, you know,
vision.
I'm in a unique spot. I think I'm the only person in the industry that does the product development for their company at home and then does the ball repping on the road. So I really have no excuse if I make the wrong call on a ball
Okay, now
because
you're
I'm the
putting
one doing the testing.
now you're
Yeah.
putting the pressure on your own. It wasn't my fault this time.
That's right. I can't say it wasn't my fault. I have no plausible deniability on that one. I've definitely thrown them all, and I've thrown them all quite a bit. So yeah, and it is different. You know, the game's changed. This next year will be my I think 17th year working on tour as a ball
Hmm.
rep, and even in that period of time, you know, the game has changed. The game has evolved.
It's a continuous evolution. It doesn't stop, and it feels in a way that it's getting exponential.
Oh, absolutely. And it's one of those things that you have to take a step back to really realize it because, like you say, it's evolution. It happens slowly, but to look at just you know on the level, just how many two-handed bowlers there are now versus what there were, what oil patterns look like. what the oils look like, what the volumes look like. Just everything is so different than
It's
when
changing the
I was doing it.
thickness, the gripness on the balls, the gripiness on the lanes, the surfaces, the amount
Yeah, yeah.
of oil they put on the lanes. I mean, if we go back 20 or 40 years
It's what
ago,
makes people who have sustained success on tour just even more impressive. I see on the second screen Dom Barrett. You know, Dom has been successful through quite a few phases. I mean, he blew out his 40th birthday candle this year. I don't know
I
if he
know.
wants me to let that cat out of the bag, but he's
No,
somebody who's been doing it for 20 years, and 20 years across that time there's been a lot of change in the game. And you think about what somebody like Chris Barnes, Tommy Jones, those guys, they just they figure it out, they adapt, and they continue to be successful. We we had this term that one of my friends, some people will remember Lonnie Wallachek, but
yeah.
he would say that there are people who are players on tour, and there are people who are tag-alongs. What he meant by that was there are people who what they do is just what works right now in the moment, and they're fortunate. And then there are people who come out here and they never stop learning, and those are your players.
And those are the ones that, especially for the young ones listening and watching the online, those are the ones you want to become.
Oh,
You
100%.
you
And
never want to
yeah.
stop learning. You always have to be with your eyes open,
Hmm.
with your ears paying attention. Grab as much information as you can from people like yourself who really understand the equipment, who is actually de- developing that equipment.
And be
And
working in between events. I'm looking at Kyle Troop, who's striking a ton right now. Kyle won his first tour title throwing a motive ball. People might not remember that, but if you put that Kyle who won his first title on this pattern, he would not have a good time. But Kyle's continually learning, continually getting better, and so we see him here.
oh, he's rocking,
He's bombing them.
especially now. He was 127 over after three. I was talking that I was very curious how was Kyle going to find a solution for games 3 and 4, because he has started the bench of squats doing quite good on the
Right.
first two, and then all of a sudden, boom, he hit a wall. What I've seen Kyle doing different this squat compared to the previous one, it was a lot of ball changing on the previous squats. He was jumping to the Ion Pro Solid, which
Hmm.
seems to be a little bit more aggressive and
Yeah,
a little
it's a
bit
little
more
quicker down
sensitive.
lane for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this time he's staying with that polished Ion Max, which
Hmm.
seems to be giving him a little bit more of a smoother and a little bit more of control.
Absolutely.
And it's working really well. Actually, he's bowling on 17 and 18 for those who are watching and watching any different cameras. He's got the double nine spare and five in a row. It's on the pace for 279. But since I have you here, let me ask you,
Yeah.
how busy is this week for you? Because this is not one of those patterns where bowlers can really just go out there and strike over strike over strike. I mean, you
Right.
probably
Right.
have been busy trying to help. I've seen some of the super talented bowlers you have at Motive. AJ has been
AJ has
suffering a
struggled.
lot. He
Yeah.
has been struggling a lot. And so I believe you are quite busy on
Yeah.
this week.
Last year was easier.
Yeah, yeah,
everybody
yeah.
everybody kind of was in the same kind of ball in the same part of the lane for the first 25 frames, and then it was everybody was into a pretty slow response resin, and making a little move off of that. But it was pretty self-explanatory last year. This year, there's there you have to give them, I guess I would say, multiple touches during a block. You can't do the same thing with your hand for 6 games. You have to have some skills that maybe don't really even get used very often the rest of the year. And so some people, those skills might not be as sharp as they'd like them to be right now. Um, I will say I'm busiest the first 2 to 3 games. That's when you're really at the mercy of the people you're following
Mm-hmm.
the most.
Mm-hmm.
After about 3 games, the pattern settles in and is pretty consistent across the center. And at this point, most of the bowlers have been across the center enough times to really have a feel for what the lanes do.
What you want to do, and especially what you don't want to do,
Correct,
right?
correct. And maybe what some of the lanes do that are different from some of the others, just characteristics of the bowling center. And so yeah, I'm busiest at the beginning. I want to get an idea of what balls are going down the lane, where and why, so that when my guys go to those pairs, I I can at least give them a roadmap.
On the other hand, I would like to say I kind of envy you because I'm doing a lot of coaching now. I used to bowl a lot, but now I'm more into the coaching area.
Sure.
And for me, I've been bowling since I was. My mom says I started pushing a bowling ball before I could walk, and I've been very fortunate. I've been always surrounded by the most talented bowlers in the amateur atmosphere. I've been lot of friendship with Thomas Leandersson, Mats
Oh wow.
Carlson,
Right.
Tim Mack, Bill Huffman. The Spanish, my best friends in the tour is Andres Gomez, Arturo
Oh
Quintero.
yeah,
I
yeah.
sucked a lot of information from every single one of them. So I believe I have quite quick eyes to read the lanes. And
Sure.
I do my job because I not only coaching, but I have a pro shop. I have to drill balls, so I have to do my homework, understanding the equipment it's
That's a
out
lot to
there.
keep up with.
Uh,
Oof.
yeah, but I mean I envy you because in a way most of the people I have to work with, I do most of my job in Spain. I have some students up in Sweden that are a little bit more talented. It's more facilities to bowl in Sweden than
Mm,
it is in Spain.
right.
But what I mean is that it has to be a lot easier to just
Oh yeah.
tell a guy to EJ Tackett or Ethan Fury,
Right.
"Hey, you know, maybe you should do that," and they just grab that ball and boom, 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 they get the job done.
100%. I haven't done like coaching on a local level in about 16 years, and but I will say it's a very different experience, and it would be yeah, I can't even imagine now because I can just go to a guy and be like, yeah, no, maybe half a gear down and down tilt it a little bit. Let's see what that does. And they just go, oh, okay, no problem. And they know what that means and they know how to do it. And so I'm very spoiled for sure.
So it's a very fun job that the one you have. You're not only helping the bowlers. That's what people see. I mean, they see your face on TV,
Right.
and then usually you feel like these guys have a very easy life. They just work a couple of hours on the TV show, but no, you have a lot of work during the week as
Oh
well.
my yes.
So it's
Yeah.
off the lanes, in the lanes. What do you guys think, or what are you ideas? How you get an idea to develop a new bowling ball? Do you have like a goal? I want to try to achieve that, and then you start working until you get there, or sometimes
Mm,
you just get an inspiration and boom, you have a complete different
sure.
ball showing up, and then look at what we have.
Sure. Yeah. So a little bit of it's the business side. We have a release schedule and our distributors expect certain things. So that's the boring part, I guess. But, you know, uh, one of the benefits of my job is that I get to go out on tour and I get to watch everybody's balls. I get to watch all the balls go down the lane. And so uh, I can I can watch. I can see what looks really good for somebody else, and I can say, do we have that? Should we have that? Um, I can see what we already have, and be able to say, okay, this particular ball would be a little bit
Hmm.
better with
Hmm.
this tweak, and those kind of things, and fortunately, we do all of that stuff in house at Motive, and we're one brand, and it's a family owned company, and so I think we're able to make adjustments and move on stuff
It,
a little quicker that way.
it's a very nice company, I must say. I met the owner and
Oh, Scott.
yeah, and the manager back at the Ball Expo in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
I was there,
I'm
and
certain you got a hug.
yeah, absolutely,
Scott gives out the
absolutely.
hugs.
Scott was, and he explained a lot of interesting stuff. I remember you're not that busy anymore now. The factory in Mexico is working well for Brunswick. You don't have to do their course any longer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I came on with the company in August of '09, so I guess I missed that period of time that they were working with Brunswick by
Hmm.
18 to 24 months, something like
Oh,
that. I was just a little bit behind it. I was the first. I was the first motive hire. Everybody else who was there was there before we were motive.
uh, to continue on that topic, because I find it super interesting. Maybe it's because I said I've been in the game for so long that it's some things that make you very curious. Um, why would you say that no brand out there has managed to produce a similar type of urethane as Hammer produced on that one? Because it's not only Motif, it's not only Storm, but even their other brands have not really released anything similar to that. And on the other hand, um, some balls you had are super successful. The Venoms, they work
Right,
on. I have
right,
so many customers down there in Spain. They love every single Venom you release. Uh, and then, for example, all the balls on I bowled for Storm, and how come there are some balls that they are staying there and there's no way they can find some replacement like for the Phase 2 or the IQ Tour Original or even the High Road. What can be the factor that some ball all of a sudden it becomes so good that
mm,
even with all the evolution we see on the game, and we're talking about different oils, different shapes, different thickness, a lot more two-handed bowlers, so
right,
the traffic that we get in the lanes today compared to 10 years ago is
right.
completely different, but still there are some balls that are working for years. So not about one specific ball, but why you think that sometimes we have one of those balls that lasts for so long?
Sure. Well, I the urethane one. I'm not going to touch that part of the
Hmm.
question.
No, no, but
I
out of curiosity,
but
that's why I
the other
said
ball,
even
yeah,
phase
but the
two,
other
Ike
balls,
tour, or
yeah, the other
stuff like that.
balls. There are a handful of them. They have Storm has, like you said, I think the IQ Tour, the Phase 2,
On the high road,
and
probably.
the
Hmm.
high road. We have the Jackal Ghost and the Venom Shock. Um, I my suspicion is that if you looked at a few of the uh, quantifiable metrics
Hmm.
of a cover stock, you've some of the basics. You've got hardness, you've got absorption, you've got RA. My guess is that if you looked at all five of those balls across those three metrics, you've got balls that were ahead of their time in that they were probably pretty soft for what was allowed. They probably and then they probably either absorb oil quickly and have a high RA, or
Hmm.
have a high RA, what one or the other, but probably two of those three metrics. I'm guessing all five of those balls probably check those
So,
boxes.
so definitely,
Um,
it's more about the cover stock than actually the core.
it's 100% more about the cover stock, yeah, and it's about uh, as the game's evolved. I think all of the manufacturers have become aware of some components of cover stock technology that are vitally important.
Hmm.
And I think there were some shells out there 10, 15 years ago that were already doing the right thing.
And that's
And
what
we
kept them alive.
and maybe we didn't even know that they were why they
Mm-hmm.
were doing the right thing then.
Hmm.
We just made them. I mean, I can speak for us that we knew the Venom Shock was good.
Hmm.
We had no idea how good when we made it. We had no idea that
It would
we'll say
fit.
these five or six things that we keep an eye on now,
Hmm.
that it checked all those boxes already. So it was just ahead of its time, and that particular one was kind of a happy accident.
And now the thing is, or I guess the question would be, why is it so hard to achieve that more often? Is it because, and not only Motive, because we see that on every, absolute every brand, is it that we are releasing way too many balls, so it's difficult to maintain that high class
Mm.
quality,
Hmm.
absolute marvelous, or is it just because it's really a lot of things you need to consider and it's not really easy to
Yeah,
find
there are so many things that
a
go into
mixture
it,
of
right?
chemistry that okay, it's not as easy as cooking a pizza, and we
Yeah,
can get a good pizza day after day after day,
yeah,
even if
you've
we
got
change a couple of
materials, you've
flavors.
got core, you've got color, and then you have things that are almost out of your control, like for the Venom Shock. We were a very small company at the time. The week that that ball became available on tour, EJ Tackett bowled for the title at the Masters
Hmm.
with it. Um, a ball that comes out, and if the Venom Shock comes out in July, of that year instead of March, right in the heart of tour season to make some shows. Does it catch on? Maybe not. It would have been just as good a ball, but if it came out in July when people weren't bowling, it's probably gone in 18 months at the most.
So it's a very big amount of variables
There are so
that,
many
that really play
variables,
on a
and
role on it.
I mean there are balls that I love every bit as much as a Venom Shock that I think would still be as good now, but just timing, um, who the people are throwing our balls on tour,
Hmm.
things like that. Maybe just the look of the ball, right? I mean, some balls they just aren't as pretty on a
Yeah, so
shelf.
yeah, I have some customers like that.
Yeah,
I like the
yeah,
smell or I like the colors, but this one is not really
it's
gonna.
not as
No, but
pretty.
I like it. I want this one. Okay, you want it? I'm not gonna deny. So, but very interesting topic. I'm sorry I went that deep into
Oh,
that
I'm happy. I'm happy.
all
I'm
that
happy
stuff.
too.
But
That's fun stuff.
since I have the chance, I really had to ask because for us, for example, for me living in Barcelona, even if I bowled a few times in the United States, sweepers, high rollers, stuff
Hmm.
like that,
Hmm.
big events like Weber Cup, whatever. But one thing that is not easy for a bowler like me in Barcelona, even when I was at my top, is to really go into a factory and
Right.
really see all the process,
Right.
really see how everything happens. The closer I got to that is some documentary on YouTube
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
how it's made.
The
Yeah,
how it's made when they
but
were in
how it's made
Kentucky.
is like they're not really telling me what goes on.
Yeah,
What
they're
they are
not giving
showing
you
me is
much.
I see a core, I see they put the two pieces together, and that's a bowling ball. Okay, I wanted something a little bit deeper than that.
Let me tell you something amazing. You're not going to believe this. I've been with Motive for 16 years,
Hmm.
and I have never been in the production facility.
Oh, that's cool.
I've never been in the factory. They are so secretive about the process that I
So not
I've
even
never.
after 16 years, you have been able to get over there. Oh
I,
my goodness.
isn't that something else?
Okay, now I
Yeah,
feel a little bit more
feel a
relieved.
little
Now,
better.
yeah, yeah, I feel a little bit better. I mean, back in the day, early 2000, I bowled for Colombia, and every
Hmm.
time I got a box, San Antonio, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
I want to go there sometime. I want to get to see the factory. I never happened. Actually, I went to San Antonio once, but it was to see a basketball game when Tim Duncan and David Robinson was
Oh
still
yeah.
playing. So it was a fun game to watch, but that I call it baby boy dream, that that
Hmm.
curiosity, because you actually were born inside the bowling alley.
Right.
You have running behind the machines when you are 3 years old. You know how the machine works. You start touching the oil machine when back in the day it was the centuries, and put the cards in, put the cards back in, see all this moving that. Okay, now it's at 38 feet. I'm gonna put the nail or the screw a little bit shorter, so it goes
Right.
down to 36, and I get bigger back end reaction. All these kind of crazy things you do when you're 10,
When you're
12,
a kid,
13.
yeah.
And but definitely I was super curious about all this line of work. So you mostly work in the house, you mostly work in your office. Is it a job you do with a computer?
Yeah, I am the only remote employee for Motive. So I actually live in Indiana. The
Hmm.
company's in Michigan. So when I started with the company, all that I was hired to do was essentially tour rep, and then I took over the staffing, the regional and national staff, and then I got involved in the product development. But when they hired me, they let me work from home, and it's hard to take that away, I
Oh,
think.
obviously, obviously.
Yeah, so I'm happily I live just north of Indianapolis with the tour schedule the way that it's been the last few years. That's been it's been a good place to be. Indy's
I,
pretty close to a lot of the tour stops.
Lovely. And you got the 500. Alex Palou just won that race over there, the 500.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
What you call it, 500 miles?
Yeah, I've
Yeah, 500 miles,
yeah, 500
Indianapolis race.
the
Yeah, yeah.
Indianapolis 500. There's a half marathon in Indianapolis that you get to run a lap
Oh my.
around the Brickyard, and you know that's what gets people to go and do it. And I went and did it, and I got to tell you, that was the worst 2.5 miles of that entire race. You're running along the roads, and people are cheering for you, and you're having a good time, and then you go in there, and it's just crickets. You know, I mean, it's cool to see the bricks and everything, but yeah. So I've run a lap around that, but I was a little slower than the cars.
How noisy are the Indy cars, since I'm asking? Because
Oh my
I've been at the
goodness.
Formula One a few times. Now they are not that noisy as they were in the past.
Right.
Back in the day, they were
See,
incredibly noisy. It was even
yeah.
annoying. I'd rather watch it from home because it even hurt my ears.
Right.
But I wonder, is the Indy cars as noisy as the Formula One?
I don't know now. It's been 30 years since I've gone to the Indy 500,
Uh-huh.
so
But
yeah.
it's not something you can hear from the house because, for example, where I've been drilling bolts lately, my pro shop is about, I would say, between 5 and 6 kilometers from the Formula One circuit in
Oh,
Barcelona,
okay.
and not now, not with the engines today, but the V10s they used before.
Back,
When they were
yeah,
running, you could hear them from that far away.
I
They
believe
were
that.
really,
That's
really noisy.
that's amazing. I thought you were going to say the airport. I was going to say, I flew through Barcelona last summer, and my bag never made it. So if you were near the airport, I was going to see if you could grab that for me.
I hope you didn't have any ideas about balls over there. Ideas I can.
Yeah,
I mean, because
no bowling balls, no bowling
okay,
balls.
okay.
We're all good.
Just to end up the topic of the factories and how do you guys work, and so just out of curiosity, is it divided like we have a team working specifically on cores and another team
Mm,
working specifically on cover stocks? Is it all together? Because to me, it would make more sense that everybody. It makes sense that everybody understands a little bit more. One more of
yeah, yeah,
chemistry,
yeah.
another bit more of a physics.
Right.
But on the other hand, you need both things to work together.
Yeah, there always has to be that tension. You have to have a team who really uh, work together well and are comfortable with the conflict. I joke that my job is to fight with marketing, and
Hmm.
that one of the guys in marketing, his job is to fight with me, because they've got to make sure that this is a ball that we can package and we can put on a shelf and that people will want to buy. And my job is to make sure that this is a ball that goes down a lane and rolls in a way that somebody looks at and wants to buy. And so, everybody's really involved. I would say that there are probably about 10 of us that are involved in that process, and everybody kind of has a say in all of it.
Hmm.
um, if it was up to me, every ball would just be solid black and have fairly dark logos,
Hmm.
and would come out of the box between 2,000 and 5,000 grit, and we'd all be happy, and I'd love that. But marketing tends to tell me that maybe they can't all be black and be
Yeah, no,
between
no.
2 and 5,000 grit.
Nowadays, I mean, the new generations, they are everything into colors and fancy stuff. So I believe, yeah, that
Right.
in a way I miss those days because also now since you are an expert on the topic, I'm gonna ask you. You're gonna correct me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
but it's very common on bowlers that
Hmm.
we have the idea. Let's say we have. It's not going to be obviously the exact same cover stock because since we're going to put different pigmentation on there. But if we had the
Absolutely.
same cover stock and the same core, is it really like we feel that the darker one is gonna go a little bit longer than when you have like clearer colors?
Um,
We say that a lot, and
there is something to that, without giving too much away.
information.
Yeah,
Okay, I understand, of course.
without giving too much
Just
away.
go as far as you can. I don't want to put you in trouble over there.
For sure. But I will say that when we plan balls, we've got our ball chart with what they're intended to do. There are certain colors that are absolute no goes. Do not use this color in this part of the ball chart, because we just know that if you want the ball to go a long way down lane, and make a nice motion down lane, you're probably not going to use a lot of fluorescent colors, for example. And if you're gonna want a ball that really sticks to the lane early and goes forward, let's not use some of those darker colors, because we need to save those. We need to save those for the balls that get down lane and hook.
You need to have the fancy colors for another one.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yep.
You said enough. I
Yeah.
thank you so much for saying as much as you have said, because it gives us a lot of
Oh,
information,
your your perception is 100% correct, though.
a lot of understanding. But for me, as I said, it's not only that we bowlers
Hmm.
between us, we have, it's one of the topics we talk from time to time. But since your motive, I can talk on the stone balls I've been throwing for quite a few years.
Right.
I put you an example. IQ Tour Pearl 30 anniversary, which was
Hmm.
the dark one, the black one.
Hmm.
Then I throw, I think I drilled 3 or 4 IQ Emeralds. It was also the RS2 cover
Right.
stock Pearl.
Right.
This
Right.
one was dark green. Then a couple of years ago, I drilled the IQ Pearl Ruby.
Right.
The three balls have the same core. It's the Centripetal 3. The three have the R2S Pearl cover stock.
At least similar
Or,
materials. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what the box said.
Right.
Or that's what the box said.
Yeah.
The finish is the same one, Pearl for all of
Hmm.
them. I did myself extra polish because we bowl in quite dry lanes in
Sure.
Spain. So
Sure.
actually, long time ago, I discovered a polish for cars from 3M
Uh-huh.
that it seems to give, I would say,
I know which one you're talking about.
and that one works amazingly good for me. You remember a ball? I believe you were already in bowling. You remember when Ebonite released that Omega LM,
Yes,
the
we
acrylium stuff? That Omega
yeah,
LM,
I do.
nobody could get that ball polished.
Right.
You remember Michael Sassen
Mm-hmm.
from Holland? He was
Yeah,
the gold medal in 1995 in Reno. We bowled
of course.
together in the International Barcelona
Mm-hmm.
together as a doubles. And one of the years he brought that ball, and
Mm-hmm.
he was like, he saw mine because we happened to bowl for every night
Sure.
on those period. Mika Koivinemi found that contract for me, and he saw my ball. Is like, what did you do to that LM? How is it shiny? How is
How
it
did you
shiny?
do that? There
I've
were
been
always those
trying
balls.
everything back in Holland. They
Yeah.
had that squeaky clean that went all the way up to
Yeah. Oh,
five
yeah, yeah, yeah.
thousand. And he was like, mine never gets polished. I said, give it to me. I have the pro
Mm-hmm.
shop upstairs. Let's go for the
Right.
3M. And
Right.
that 3M managed to polish the. So I've been using that one for long. So what I'm meaning is those three different IQs I was talking about,
Yeah.
I had them all under that polish.
Mm-hmm.
But the red one, the Robbie, was gripping at least a couple of feet sooner.
Sure.
And the numbers were the same ones. I mean, no one else was drilling my balls. I knew the numbers. I did the same
Right.
layout. And okay, maybe, of course, it's not exactly the same top weight. Maybe the pin distance from the center of
Yeah, but
gravity is slightly different, but mainly it should have been a lot more similar one to the other.
sure.
And that's why I really wanted to ask you about
Well,
the
but
pigmentation.
and we're talking about in this sport, 1 inch of hook, left to right, and you know 4 inches front to back
Front to back, yeah.
is a massive difference in ball motion.
Yes.
And and uh, and so it's no surprise that if you change any variables in a ball, that you're going to see a very different ball. And that's a hard thing to communicate to casual bowlers, because they'll see, like, for example, we just came out with a Primal Ghost, and we already have a ball that has that cover on it, exactly that cover in those colors. But we're talking about a dual density core with a 255 RG and a lower differential versus a 248 RG and an ASIM. And to explain to them that, like, 2 feet and three boards, that's a 10%
Yes.
change in ball
Yes.
motion.
When you say it, it
It's
sounds like
enormous.
a very little
Right.
difference, but when you're trying to, especially on today's game,
Right.
when 220 is not enough and you have to go all the way up to 250,
Right.
that difference is going to be a huge difference in the entry angle.
Yep.
So that is, I've been talking a lot about this on the streaming during this week,
Game of
especially for
inches.
those people who bowl
Yeah.
the night lake and they go back home like, oh my God, today I was so unlucky. I've been hitting the pocket all night long, but I
Right.
couldn't strike. I was so unlucky. And now trying to explain it's not about luck. It's a
Right.
matter of carry. If you don't have the
Yep.
right angle, you're not going to carry.
It's all about luck.
What could the lucky Larsen
Of
could
course,
say
this
about it,
guy.
right?
Of course, this guy. Yeah. So I there are little tips you can give those people, right, to start teaching them how to just watch how the ball goes through the pins. Even before you learn how to read ball motion, just watch how the ball goes through the pins, and learn how to make adjustments off of that. maybe your quote luck gets better once you start realizing
What goes on
what's
down
going
there?
on down
What
there.
goes on down there?
Yeah.
And nowadays, we have no excuses because we have a lot of technology.
Oh,
We can
absolutely.
download any video from any professional. You can
Mm-hmm.
pause it, you can put it on slow motion and
Right.
really see, okay, why was that 10 pin standing there? And most of the times, you can actually see how the ball deflects.
Oh, and even when you're bowling, use what information you have in front of you. Most of these scoring systems will now tell you your ball speed. Maybe that number isn't accurate, but it's consistent. And so if you keep an eye on that, hey, why'd that ball hook so much? Maybe I threw it slower. Take a look at that. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on what the other people on your pair are doing when they're bowling and how they're influencing, your environment. But yeah, they're just use what's available to you,
I
right?
would say help people be a little smarter with the information they have available.
Just be
Because,
more aware.
for example, I have a lot of students and even up here, they watch absolutely every PBA show.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, when I ask them about, okay, what did you see today?
Right.
It's like they have gone to the cinema and watched the movie.
Active active viewing versus passive viewing. Yes.
And on the other hand, I tell them, but look at these guys. Now, when they are bowling on the tour and they have the spectre over there and
Mm-hmm.
they do something that really didn't work the way they believed it was going to do. You
Right.
see how they turn their hand, how they
Mm-hmm.
head. Okay, let's see
Yep.
what the numbers are
They're
there.
looking. They're
And it's
Yep.
not that they are curious; it's that they need to understand
Right.
what happened over there.
I love rewatching the shows where a bowler runs the ladder and makes it from the first match to the title match, because uh, really, if you think about it, how many games are bowled there? It's 8 games bowled on a show plus practice, so maybe it's 2 games of league.
Hmm.
Look at how
How massive?
many skills they show off in those games, how many adjustments they make. And you're talking about really the amount of shots is probably 2.5 games of
Hmm.
league.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Very nice information. It's becoming really, really interesting. I hope that people who's watching, they are having a lot of fun. Actually, there was a Becky. It says, "Hi, Brett. Did you just say without the mustache?"
I did. Oh my goodness, you wouldn't believe how mad people were in Pennsylvania when I went to the tour finals without a mustache.
And now we are back to we were talking. So people is looking at the shows on TV and they are paying attention to your mustache instead of paying attention on the job you guys are doing over there, trying
uh,
to learn something.
that's all right. We're all just trying to have fun, right? Yeah, I always go out with some kind of silly facial hair to the first tour stop, and then, Michael broke a scoring record at the first event. We had a couple guys on the show. I was like, well, I'm just superstitious enough. I'll keep it. And then we
Hmm.
won the next 3 events, and thought, well, okay, so we're keeping this until the tour season's over.
Okay, that's something new. I have heard before about superstitions between bowlers, but I have not heard about superstitions about ball reps.
Yeah, I mean, if things are going well, why change something that you don't have to?
Okay, so next time I'm watching some TV show and some of the motive guys doesn't do well, I have to pay attention into the
Maybe
next one.
my
Let's
head will be shaved the
let's
next
see
week.
what did it do different this time. Change of box. Actually, but that's very funny. You remember that commercial that Mike Colby did back in the past? I loved that one.
Oh, okay.
When he said, every time I bowl, I use the same pair of socks. Every time
Oh,
I
I remember
bowl, I
that one.
use
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah,
underwear.
yeah.
I use the same shirt. I have breakfast at the same
Hmm.
restaurant, blah, blah, blah. And I use a different ball,
Right,
but they're all from the same brand.
right. I
That
remember
one
that.
was one of the best bowling commercials I remember
I
seeing
like
in my life.
watching I like watching the old shows on YouTube and seeing some of those commercials. That's good times.
I love that bowler, by the way. When I was a very young kid, my
Yeah.
hobby, it was one of those that I
Indiana.
enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
How elegant was he?
Right. Right. As a lefty, I agree. I enjoyed watching Mike a
Some
lot.
of the best bowlers ever, they have been lefties. What about Earl Anthony?
Yeah, I guess he was all right.
Right. right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
we are almost done with game five. Just a couple of guys short with one frame. We're gonna update the scoring pretty soon. On game four, we had Kyle Troop 184 over.
Holy cow.
That is very very high.
I think
I
he might make it to step 2.
looks that way. Looks that way. He's gonna bowl now on 5 and 6. He's
That's right.
already 212 over. So if he continues to go that way, he's gonna take the lead on the event.
I
The
think
current
so.
leader is Trevor with 244 over. Um, Someone else was doing quite good. It was Timo Putkisto from Finland. He was 96 over after four.
Where's he?
Uh,
Where's he bowling?
uh, I don't know
I
because
don't
they
see
have
him right now.
no.
Oh, his name's
It's
his name's
some of
not
the
up
yes,
yet.
some of the scores
Yeah.
are not there yet. So, but we're gonna get that updated pretty soon. And look at how cool Elisa Hiltunen, 53 over after four.
Whoa.
That is remarkable.
Yeah.
Not only super steady, but how difficult is this pattern for the girls?
Oh, absolutely.
They started
Yeah.
a little bit, especially she was bowling a little bit further outside from the beginning, kind of a
Mhm.
similar line that Ethan done on his third squad when
Oh,
he was
yeah, when he was throwing the
bowling
urethane.
urethane.
Yeah.
That was amazing, by the way.
He's
I mean,
remarkable.
I already
The fact that we've been here this long and we haven't talked about him seems wrong, but yeah.
probably because he left me speechless.
I can believe that.
I said the other day, I don't remember who I was talking. It's been a bunch of guys coming over here. I'm not sure it was Andrew Anderson. Probably it was Ryan Barnes or I don't know. It's been a bunch of you guys coming by, which I truly appreciate. It's making the broadcast a lot more fun and a lot more interesting. But I said as a coach,
Yeah.
of course now I have a lot of people that wants to bowl two hands.
Right.
And in a way, it has felt in me that we need to learn more about the two hands. It's something so new. There is no
Right.
really a solid school behind.
Right.
And what I said is when I saw that show that Ethan bowled against against
with the
EJ,
roll off. Yeah.
when I saw it and he was doing those three steps,
Right.
in my head, as soon as I saw the first shot he did, it was like,
That makes so much sense.
finally,
Yeah.
somebody matched the old school,
Yeah.
kind of elegant and
Oh, yeah?
beautiful with the modern bowling.
Right.
And I paid a lot of attention to what he was
Mhm.
doing. It kind of made it even more clear. Okay, this is the path I want to take into the two-handed coaching.
You know what's fascinating, and after I tell you this, you won't be surprised. He and Trevor have the same coach. The same guy developed
Really?
their games.
Okay.
And if you watch them, I know Ethan's a two-hander. Their swings are similar.
Hmm.
They have those long, effortless swings, long flat spot. They get into the line. They use their legs really well, but they,
Like we said back in the day, go down like an airplane.
like an airplane landing, deep knee bend. If you look at their games and don't think about the fact that Ethan's
It's
left
one or
hand is
two-
on
yeah,
the ball,
Yeah.
you can really see that you can see what their coach values. You can see what he was trying to develop, and you know Ethan's rev rate when he was a teenager, which I recognize was a year ago, but a couple of years ago,
Yeah, yeah.
when he was a younger teen, his rev rate was like 550, and he generally threw the ball at about 18 miles an hour, where he's usually quite a bit softer than that now, because that wasn't what his coach thought would be the most valuable of his skills to develop. So yeah, Ethan has this beautiful, simple, elegant is a good word.
Simple
Game. Yeah, well, it's simple, but yeah, he's unbelievably versatile. As this was the first year that I got to work with Ethan, and I had actually worked with his coach before in the past. He had worked with me when I bowled on tour for a minute,
Hmm.
and so I kind of knew what he valued and everything. But Ethan, every time I would ask, like, do you think that you can do this? Some kind of physical cue or something on the lane. Oh yeah, we've worked on that. I can do that. There was about one thing that I can remember that I asked for that he said I'm not real comfortable doing that, and so I'm sure you can guess what he's worked on since the tour season ended. He's really good at what we would call it as down tilting the ball, but this last year on tour, he could really only do it if he threw the ball over the front. He wasn't able to get the ball into the lane and down tilt it. And that's a skill that EJ uses a lot when we're on low friction surfaces on a lot of oil. In Reno, almost every pattern, EJ would give the ball really stable roll with shallow angles to start on a lot of the patterns, and as he would move in, he would
Then,
down tilt the
yeah,
ball and
yeah.
get it into the lane. And so, in Reno, that was the first time that I really was like, Ethan, can you give this to us? And he said, it's not a no, it's a not yet,
Mm, mm.
because he's a worker and he can do it now. Um, he's because again we where we started our conversation, there are people who you can just tell they're always adapting, they're always learning. Had that conversation with a young player day one when I was here. He said, what steroids are you giving Ethan Fiore? And I said, buddy, let me tell you something. There are bowlers, because of the way that the tour is structured now. I'll see somebody every day for a few months, and then I won't see them for a half a year, right? There are people that you see, and the next time you see them, you go, oh, I know what you've been working on. I can tell what you've been working on. Sometimes it's the right thing, sometimes it's not. Some of that depends on coaching, but you know that those people that when you see them, you can say, I know what you've been working on. They're going to get there. They're going to figure it out. They're going to keep getting better. Um, Ethan's one
And
of those
then
kids.
just a small pause. There are those ones that you coach, but you're not living close to them, and you give
Yeah,
them some work to do,
right.
and you meet them 3 months later, and you ask them, and they say, "Yeah, I've been working on everything."
Mm-hmm.
You have a look, and he's doing exactly the same thing.
Right,
He has been working on
right.
nothing, just playing the Game Boy. But we have this one. I think is interesting topic. We have Glenn Turner, the multi-ball rep in the booth. Which hooks more, dull or polished? This brings us back to the
Right,
very
right,
long time ago. We don't want to think anymore about which ball hooks more or less. We want to
right.
start thinking front and
Front to
back.
back, front
And
to back.
so that's the number one thing. That was an easy
It's
answer.
it's
But
it's a
now
it's a
you go
fair
for the
it's a
deeper one.
fair
You go for the
question,
deeper
and
one.
I it's a question that requires follow up questions. Who's throwing it? Where are they throwing it? On what are they throwing it? And so is it a condition where we need the ball to retain energy? If yes, your shiny ball is going to cross more boards. Is it a pattern where we need the ball to
Yeah.
get started? Then probably your dull ball is going to cross more boards. But again, uh, right now, uh, eh, there you might not want the ball that hooks the most of the time. We want the ball that gives you a nice, controllable motion. And as a manufacturer, we have to give you 15 different balls so that in different environments, you can get that nice, controlled motion. Um, w- yes, people make balls that are very angular. We don't want to use those balls when they look like they're getting kicked off of the gutter. We want to use those balls when there's enough blend and friction in the pattern that the balls that are smoother will not carry a corner pin or will not knock
Exactly.
down a two pin.
Exactly.
We're really always looking for the same shape. There are just
Hmm.
so many different ways that we have to accomplish that shape.
Absolutely, and that's one of the reasons why one of the things, as I said before, bowling in Spain and south of Europe, it's not that many professionals at all. It's more
Mm,
like recreational bowling. So
sure.
you have to help them understand all these kind of things from the professional point of view. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I see in amateur bowling. They have six balls in the
Right.
bag, but it doesn't matter where they go to bowl. It's Barcelona, Madrid, Paris. They always grab the same ball. They always
Mm,
try to
hmm
make it work on the same spot, and and that's not what we want. I mean, you have six balls in the bag. You just have to find out which one is going to work on that specific
and and when
condition.
you're develop when you're acquiring those six balls, talk to people who know what they're doing so that you don't accidentally end up with six versions of the same ball.
Yes, that's the other thing. We unfortunately there are some pro shops over the world that they just only care about the business.
Mhm.
And I would say wrongly, mistakenly, because actually it's just the short vision. If you just
Right,
get rid of the stock that you want to get rid of,
right,
you're
right.
gonna get out of that ball today. But that bowler is not gonna have, is
Correct.
really not gonna get any good answers or any good results because
Right.
it's a photocopy of what the another bowler he has in the bag. So you're
Hmm
gonna end up losing the customer. So it's not only we're talking to the amateur bowlers, but we're also trying to help the pro shops in those countries that don't have that much
Right.
knowledge, that sometimes it's not that beneficial to get rid of that ball that you want to get rid of.
Right.
It's
Right.
going to pay out a lot better in the long term to give them the ball that they really need.
And boy, I wish that when I was a kid. Oh, look at that spare on 15. Just covered a.
Arnold
covered a
Johnson
6-7.
got the 710. Did
Oh,
you
you're
see that?
kidding.
No, he just got the
He's
710
one of my favorite bowlers to watch.
couple of games ago.
One of my
Uh,
favorite bowlers to watch.
Really
Truly.
strong spur. The 7, he went for the 7. The 7 kicked the 10, and one of the pins came 1/3 of the lane forward. So it really was a strong 7-10 sparing.
EJ bowled against Arnar in Reno. I don't remember which pattern, forgive me, but when we were talking the night before the match, it was, buddy, we got to win this in 3 or 4, because once, and it's crazy to hear this talking about somebody like EJ who's so good at shaping a ball. Once Arnar gets left and can get left, catch a handful, and throw right,
It's dangerous.
you don't want to mix up with that.
No.
He is incredible.
He's a Viking blood.
Yeah.
Definitely a Viking over there. Very strong. Let's have a quick look at the scoring, because we are
Yeah. We got the update.
in the middle of the 6th game. This is a turbo game. On game 5, we had Marcus Johnson, who is now currently in 2nd position with 1,088. He was pretty close to shoot 280, which could have given him the turbo, because games 5 and 6
Right.
at the moment is somewhere around 277. But let's look at the general status. Kyle Troop 12-12, 212 overs. With just 1 game to go, and where's Kyle at the moment? Lane 5, a triple and a double.
Yeah, triple spare. So he's got 260 left.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Then on the same camera we have Marcus Johnson with a spare 4-bagger, and he's just spared the split. So Marcus is also looking pretty good. It looks like we can have.
Looks like we have about 7, 8 players maybe who with a big enough last game could.
They could have it. Well, we can skip Ethan because Ethan is already.
Oh, good point.
Inside.
Yeah, Ethan's already snuck in there, huh?
And
couple times.
And Elisa, she's got 33 over to be precise. She shot 180 on
and
that
what's
last
the number,
one.
28 right now?
28. Yeah. So she needs to make sure to make at least 196. And if she wants to secure the spot, actually she should make 202, because 34.
That would get around
34.
The top
it's
number.
yes,
Right.
That's what Nora Johansson has at the moment. Very strong performance anyway, because she has been super steady. The highest game is 225, so no really one of those 260 that can give you like some kind of a room in the back for if you get in trouble. She's bowling now on lane 10, 7 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare, taking every single spare, making sure she doesn't get into any kind of issues and troubles. People who could do something on the turbo, we have Florentine on lane 15, front 5.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to jump in here for a second. Glenn Tanner followed up. He said, I see a lot of polish balls going down the lane and hooking a lot. I think he was talking about in this tournament.
Okay.
And yes, I tell you, my guys, there are a whole lot of shiny bowling balls. On the fresh, we're using balls that have low RG fast spinning cores, with a good deal of differential and some intermediate diff to get the ball going forward, but we're shining them. There's polish on quite a few of them. You see, I see Tobias right now bowling, and Tobias is, I think every ball in his bag is polished now. So yes, Glenn, to follow up, there's a lot of polish on the lanes right now. Good deal of compound, and people who have balls that aren't polished, I do believe they have a great deal of lane shine on them.
I mean, also in a way, he may talk a little bit of one of the tricks we do sometimes when we want to gain a little bit of control on those pearl reactive cover stocks. When we want to smooth them down a little bit, and we touch them slightly with a 2000 or a 3000 to kind of kill them a little bit. But due to the fact that the heads are drying up so quickly, that wouldn't be any beneficial. It would give you control, but the ball would lack the energy and the push down the lane.
We call those angular balls on tour. We use fast response is what we call them. And we don't really. I don't think players really want to be in a lot of fast response stuff this week. You want shiny, which is going to make them quicker,
Hmm.
but it's a lot of moderate to slower response balls that are shined. Has been what I've seen a lot of people using. So yeah, good follow up, Glenn. Thank you for that. I had a greater understanding of what you were looking for there.
Um, I'm gonna say one more time. Let me stop you for 30 seconds. Everybody who's watching and everybody who's listening, if you have not done it yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's 100% free. Our main goal is to help bowling worldwide. This is the reason why we are broadcasting every single frame on this event. And as you can see, we keep bringing more and more interesting people to talk to us, so we can give you not only the seeing and the seeing and viewing how good they are on the lanes, but we are trying to provide you with the much knowledge and the much better comprehension of the whole complexity of the game. So if you have not subscribed, just go ahead, click the button. We will be very happy to have you as followers. And man, it's really, really interesting to talk to you. I
I had a
had
blast.
a lot of fun,
Yeah.
a lot of fun. I don't want to really kidnap you any longer. Feel free to go out there if you have any guy that you have to do some business, because it's one more squad. I believe probably
One more shot. Yep.
AJ is probably gonna try once again.
Boy, he'd better.
He better, right? He won this. He won this event a couple of years ago. So
Oh, and I've only been here the last 2 years, so maybe I'm the problem.
yeah,
You know,
I mean, he's
maybe,
gonna.
maybe I go back and take a nap and let him just bowl.
It's been an absolute honor. It's been an absolute pleasure. I thank you so much for your time. Thank you for all the amazing stuff you explained to us. I'm gonna go home happier with knowing that a few of the ideas that I had in my mind were not that far from being correct.
Not at all.
And I thank you for all the new information that I'm gonna go to bed making sure it stays in my brain.
Well, thanks so much. This was fun. Appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, buddy. Enjoy the rest of the week. Good luck with your guys, and
Yeah, thank you.
good luck with the new season.
All right. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks.
you, buddy. Thanks.
Mhm.
Wow, it was unbelievable. A lot of fun. We have learned a lot. It was definitely one of the most interesting chats we had during the week. I hope everybody had a lot of fun as well, and you guys learn as much as we did. It was quite interesting, wasn't it? What do you think, Chrissy Jonas? That was pretty good, eh? So we have some people helping us with lane profiles, some other people helping us with how do they see the patterns and how do they want to bowl them as active professional bowlers. Now we had a little bit of we have a question over here. There are many bowlers from the United States. Well, we have 21 bowlers from United States who have been bowling or will be bowling again. It's quite a bunch of them. To come from United States all the way to Europe and especially up to the north, it takes quite a few hours. So I would say it's quite good. 21 is not bad. We have, I think it's people from over 26, 27 countries. It looks like a world championships with PBA guys joining in. Um, a lot of talent on the lanes. A lot of striking going on. A lot of people with possibilities to make it into the final. Lane 7 and 8, we have Marcus Johnson. With just a spare on the 10th, is going to go with 100 over. So that's going to make him go straight into the final. On 5 and 6, we have Kyle Trupp destroying the lanes. It looks like everything he has been suffering during the week is going to pay out on this squad. Is 159 over with 4 frames to go. He gets another strike. He's killing it. 189 over, and he still have the possibility to get another 90 pins on that scoring. So Kyle can go all the way up to 279 over. My goodness.
Same ball, 6 games.
Same ball for the 6 games. Yeah, absolutely. It's looking terrifically. And I know for sure, Martin. If you allow me, you're the boss because this tournament is under your name. Daniel, the same. If you allow me, I think I know what am I gonna ask him right away when I get to the lanes. Was it a little bit easier with the people around you this time? They didn't lose the rhythm and the tempo. What do you think? Will he catch it properly if I go that way? Now you know me, guys. I'm just joking, having a lot of fun. Um, I'm simply impressed. I mean, he's gonna shoot 280. It was until yesterday morning we were doubting. We gonna have any 1400? Then we got 1400 yesterday, 1400 today. We're gonna go so close to the 1500s now. I guess they had more Red Bull than I did because otherwise, how can you score so high all of a sudden? Good game plan. Good game plan. Definitely, he got the job done. Okay, Marcus, he got the strike on the 10th, so Marcus is also going to go pretty high on this squad. He's already in the final, yeah, absolutely already in the final. He gets another one, so he's going to go all the way to 1320 something. That's more than enough to make it. Actually, with that higher score from Kyle and so, it's going to be interesting to see also what's the cut for step 2 in the finals. It's 100 teams now. Oh, because of the senior, that's true. The seniors was no 1193. It was for Oscar Brostrom, so he's gonna run a little short for Ian Robinson. We're looking at the people above 50. We remind you, it's two of them making it into the final. It's two under 21. It's two ladies. By the way, where did Elisa go? Elisa, ooh, couple of two open frames over there. She's dropping down. 134 on frame 8. If she strikes out, it's going to be 194. And Elisa had, can you give me back to what Elisa had after 5 games? She needs to go. She needs to go all the way to 28 over. I was just gonna tell you right away if you give us just half a minute. Elisa was having 33 over, so she needs 196 actually, and she can only go all the way up to 194. It's not going to be enough for her after such a long day in the office. Megan was close. Megan was with 1,014. Where is Megan bowling her last game? Megan. Oh, no, no. 174 on lane 1 and 2. So Megan also dropped down to 11 and 88. So 1319 for Marcus Jansson. 1277. Timo from Finland is going to shoot 1307 on lane 17 and 18. That's going to be also good scoring to get into the final. And Kyle is on the 1460s. No, Robin Norberg, but he's under 21, isn't he? And under 21 could be enough for Robin. I think it was somewhere around 1250, 1260. It's a lot of things happening. Excuses that we are not, or excuse me, in this case, I'm only having the microphone myself. It's a lot of things happening. We're trying to see how many people can make it through the other gateways. Robin Norberg, he needs to score more than 1253. If he makes a double, he's going to lead. The leader is Anton Andersson with 1286. We have a question here. Does anyone know when the 2026 PBA season will start? To be honest, I have no idea. We just at the end of August is kind of a vacation period for us. Okay, we have a new leader in town. We have Kyle Trapp, 1463. My goodness, I'm gonna have to ask him, what did you have for lunch? Barney, Fifi, or Fifi, are they any side bets? High game pots, brackets, etc. Not that I know of. Maybe some people is doing behind the wall, but I believe it's not by ruling in Sweden, right? We don't know, but no, not on the tournament. The tournament is, as I said, the only PBA official tournament outside the United States. If you have the PBA membership and you win this event, you have a PBA title in your CV. And I think all the action is pretty much done. We're just going to see what Robin can do on the 10th frame. He had the strike, so he's going for sure to 1283. That's going to put him 30 pins ahead of Wilmer, who had 1253. But if I were Robin, I would try to make one more to make sure I get the spot number 1 in the under 21 division. There we go. No, that was deep in the pocket, hands in the face. He was probably knowing that he needed, or maybe he was thinking about the 1293 with a triple to make it directly and not having to count on the under 21. Okay, 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. here in Helsingborg, Olympia Bowling Alley, Storm Blackie Larsen, Masters 2025. We have just one last squat to go, and we'll be right back as soon as we start. It's been a pleasure, so everybody keep nearby. We will be back soon. Cameras will remain on, and streaming commentating is gonna come back as soon as the last squad begins. Thank you everybody who's watching, and I'll be back pretty soon.